This page showcases the front cover of the magazine, featuring a prominent image of a race car with Alitalia branding, likely hinting at a racing game feature. The main headlines announce exciting news for both Dreamcast and SEGA Saturn owners. Featured prominently are announcements for Resident Evil, Biohazard, coming to Dreamcast and Virtua on being ported, likely to the Saturn. Other highlighted titles include Power Stone, Cyber Troopers, Virtualon Oratorio Tangram, Sega Rally 2 Dreamcast version debut, Virtua Fighter 3TB, and Project Berkeley, which would later become Shenmue. The cover also lists the publication date as October 23, 1998, and the price as 420 yen. Further highlights mentioned are Dreamcast titles like Geist Force, Puyo Puyon, Sonic Adventure, Blue Stinger, and Evolution. Sega Saturn content mentioned includes a full strategy guide for Pia EU Koso 2, Kido Senkan Nadeshiko, Sakura Wars, Teito Saisen, Sagata Sanshiro, and Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 3. This page features a bold declaration titled Omoshiro Senjen, Declaration of Fun, from Warp Inc., signed by Representative Kenji Ino. The statement is about the development of D2, the sequel to the critically acclaimed D. It explains that D2 is being scaled up for the Dreamcast to become even more interesting. Although development began in late 1998, aiming for a winter release, Warp feels they can make something even better. Therefore, they have decided to extend the development period to thoroughly pursue the Dreamcast's capabilities and deliver a new kind of game that they absolutely must show everyone. They declare they will not cut corners and will continue development until they are truly satisfied. They promise to create a fun software title that will surprise everyone, asking fans to wait a little longer. The page also confirms the planned release year is 1999, with a scheduled price of 5,800 yen, excluding tax, on 2 discs. This announcement clearly indicates a delay from the initial target and a renewed focus on leveraging the power of the Dreamcast to deliver a signature Kenji Ino experience. This page features a dramatic preview for D2, the sequel to the survival horror game D. Large, stark text proclaims, "Something terrifying lies beneath the frozen soil in Canada, and now it is awake," set against an image depicting a fiery plane crash or explosion. The accompanying text provides a synopsis for the game, placing the horror story in Canada on Christmas 1999. It details how the protagonist, Laura, experiences a strange aerial encounter involving a meteorite and armed men, leading to her aircraft crashing. Rescued by a woman named Kimberly, she awakens in a mountain hut only to face dreadful mutants, or monsters. The text poses questions about the cause of the accident and the origin of the monsters, hinting at a horrifying mystery and tragic destinies that will be unveiled. This page confirms the game is coming in winter for the Dreamcast, reinforcing the previous page's announcement of extended development to fully utilize the platform's capabilities for this new Kenji Ino experience. This page is an advertisement for Capcom Generation Volume 3. It features a cozy cafe interior setting as the backdrop for promoting this collection of classic Capcom arcade titles making their return. The prominent text declares that game masterpieces are revived, specifically highlighting Volume 3, where history begins here. This volume includes the classic vertical shooter Vulgus, the unique side-scrolling action game Sun Sun, which draws inspiration from the Chinese novel Journey to the West, and the challenging vertical shooter X'd X's, known internationally as Savage Bees. All 3 screenshots shown are explicitly noted as being from the development version. The page announces the release date as October 15th, offering fans of these arcade gems a chance to revisit them on the Saturn. The cafe setting and subtle details like the menu board add a nostalgic, perhaps even relaxing, atmosphere to the promotion of these intense arcade experiences. This page continues the theme from the previous one, promoting the Capcom Generation series of classic arcade game collections for the Sega Saturn. Set against a warm, nostalgic cafe backdrop, the page declares, "It was youth," emphasizing the retrospective nature of the release. The large text highlights Capcom Generation as a collection of game masterpieces releasing over 5 consecutive months. Following up on the focus on Volume 3 from the previous page, this ad details the contents of other volumes. Volume 1, subtitled Era of the Shooting King, features the classic flight shooters 1942, 1943, Battle of Midway, and 1943 Kai, all noted as already released with good reception. Volume 2, Demon World and Knights, brings together the challenging action games Ghosts ein Goblins, Ghouls ein Ghosts, and Super Ghouls ein Ghosts, also currently available. Volume 4, Hero of Isolation, collects the run-and-gun classics Commando and Mercs, alongside the Western-themed shooter gun Smoke, scheduled for release on November 12th. Finally, Volume 5, The Fighters, includes the iconic fighting games Street Fighter II, The World Warrior, Street Fighter II Champion Edition, and Street Fighter II Hyper Fighting, slated for a December release. The page also includes a small section featuring the maze game pirate ship Higemaru. Additionally, it notes information about the upcoming Tokyo Game Show 98 autumn event. This serves as a comprehensive overview of the Capcom Generation series, reminding players of the classic titles being revived for the Sega Saturn. This page serves as the contents page for the October 23, 1998 issue of SEGA Saturn Magazine Volume 30, specifically highlighting the Dreamcast Magazine Volume 8 section. The page previews exciting upcoming and recently released titles for Sega's new console. Key features include Capcom's announcement of Dreamcast titles, notably the reveal of the 3D action game Power Stones. Sega dominates with major arcade game coverage, including an extensive 18-page feature on Virtua On, Oratorio Tangram, highlighting the power of the Dreamcast hardware. There's also a look at the progress of Virtua Fighter 3 TB, comparing the Dreamcast version to the arcade original, and an exclusive interview with Yu Suzuki about Sega Rally 2. A significant feature delves into both Virtua Fighter 3 TB and the mysterious Project Berkeley, later known as Shenmue, giving a first look at its adventure elements. Sonic Adventure receives attention with developer interviews and character illustrations. The page also covers new Dreamcast titles like Evolution, World of Sacred Device, and the new generation shooter Geist Force, plus the puzzle game Puyo Puyon. Additional articles touch upon other Dreamcast titles like Blue Stinger and Seventh Cross, along with sports management games. Tokyo Game Show coverage focuses on the Dreamcast titles exhibited. The page is adorned with an illustration of Rena Inverse, the protagonist from Evolution, World of Sacred Device, teasing that game's features. This issue clearly focuses heavily on the burgeoning Dreamcast library. This magazine issue provides a comprehensive index for Sega Saturn and Dreamcast games. The special report highlights Saturn titles like Sakura Wars and Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, along with strategy guides for games such as Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Ambition. Upcoming Saturn software includes Sega Ages titles and new releases like Kyukyoku Senkau Ensemble. The Game Index features numerous Saturn games, including Idol Janshi Tsuchipai and Densha de Go X, which receives a special feature. The Dreamcast section previews games like Elemental Gimmick Gear, Sonic Adventure, and Resident Evil Code Veronica, illustrating the console's growing library. Regular features like news, databanks, and developer columns are also included. The page's design, showcasing a Lancia Stratos, emphasizes Sega Rally 2 and the magazine's commitment to both consoles, signaling its focus on both established and emerging platforms. This page focuses on the end of the iconic Sagata Sanshiro commercial campaign, announcing the completion of his final CF filming while declaring him immortal. The main image shows actor Hiroshi Fujioka, who portrays Sagata, holding one of the many plush toys created in the character's likeness. The page also features a look at the impressive scale of the final commercial shoot, which involved large sets and CG processing. A list details the extensive range of Sagata Sanshiro merchandise available for sale, from phone cards and towels to plush dolls and action figures, highlighting the character's popularity. The box art for his Sega Saturn game, Sagata Sanshiro Shinken Yugi, is also shown. Finally, the page announces upcoming events at Joyopolis locations in October, presenting the last chance for fans to meet Hiroshi Fujioka in person. These events, promoting his game, include talk shows and autograph sessions, emphasizing the opportunity to see the man behind the legend one last time. Sega is celebrating Puyo Puyo 2's 1 million sales milestone with a commemorative watch and Puyo Day sales on the 24th of each month. Densha de Go is becoming a detailed toy train simulator. The character Licca-chan is getting a new TV anime, with images from the completion presentation. A Mickey and Minnie candlelight giveaway is planned for the holidays. Sega made a significant showing at the World PC Expo 98, featuring a large Sagata Sanshiro banner and PC versions of games like Sonic R. SEGA was exploring PC gaming and DirectX technology at the event, showcasing its continued expansion. This page features new merchandise and educational opportunities alongside music releases. Konami is getting a jump on 1999, with a variety of new Tokimeki memorial goods releasing on October 22nd. The highlight is the early 1999 calendar featuring characters, but they are also releasing system notebooks, collection stickers, pin collections, and even a calendar that comes with a card file for collecting. Sentimental Graffiti for Windows is announced for release on October 30th as a 2-disc set. Published by NEC Interchannel, this Windows 98 and 95 compatible version of the popular dating sim will feature improved game balance, new events, and the opening theme song performed by Kaoru Watanabe. The game will also see releases in Korea and other parts of Asia. A new digital creator training school called 3D Plus is being established, focusing on practical skills to train creators for immediate work. The school, located near Shinjuku South Exit, opens its doors on January 15, 1999, with courses starting at the basic level in areas like 3D graphics, game programming, and web design. The bottom section features new music releases from various artists, including Ura Sheep, Yuri Mari, Shazna, Pizzicato 5, Sex Machine Guns, Tsuyoshi Nagabuchi, and Catherine. Notably, the group Do 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 is releasing music connected to the Saturn game Roommate W. These releases cover a range of genres and are hitting stores throughout October. This page is a special feature dedicated to Koei's guidebooks, celebrating their 20th anniversary. It highlights Koei's reputation for producing high-quality simulation games and emphasizes how their guidebooks are essential resources, going beyond simple game guides to become valuable reference materials. The feature notes that Koei's publications also cater to a wider audience, including female fans, by offering related books and guides for popular series like Angelique that incorporate illustrations and comic elements. They review several example guidebooks, covering historical simulations such as Taiku Rishiden and Taitoku no Ketsudan 2i, known for their strategic depth, and also fan-focused content like the Angelique series, which features detailed character information and fan contributions. The Winning Post 3 guide is also mentioned, showcasing Koei's expertise extends beyond history into other simulation genres like horse racing. The reviewer expresses how indispensable these detailed guides are for navigating Koei's complex games, and mentions the tendency to purchase a guidebook alongside almost every Koei software title. The feature concludes by stating Koei has published nearly 500 game-related books since their first handbook for Nobunaga's Ambition PC version about a decade ago, promising to continue creating books that enhance the gaming experience. The next page presents the SEGA Saturn Magazine Data Station, your weekly source for all things Saturn data, focusing on the latest soft sales and upcoming releases. The main event here is the Shop Data Top 10, showing the best-selling games from September 22nd to 28th. The commentary notes that while recent weeks have seen quieter sales, this week is buzzing with strong performance from new titles. Topping the charts at number 1 is Mobile Suit Gundam, the blank of 3 years, making a huge splash with over 45,000 units sold in its first week. Coming in right behind at number 2 is Shining Force 2, I Scenario 3, also a new release, selling over 35,000 units. The reviewer highlights both the Gundam title and Shining Force Scenario 3 as essential games to check out. Rounding out the top 3 is Capcom Generation Volume 2, a new collection entering the list strong. Other notable entries include Slayers Royal 2 and the new Digital Monster Ver. Digimon Tamers. Screenshots of the top games are shown alongside their rankings, giving a glimpse of the action or style. Below the sales chart is the SEGA Saturn release schedule, a calendar detailing upcoming games. This section lists various titles expected in the coming months, including more entries in the Capcom Generation and Shining Force 2i series, along with other games across different genres. It's a handy guide for planning your future Saturn purchases. This page is the SEGA Saturn Data Station's User Data Top 20. Focusing on the most anticipated new software releases as voted by readers. The headline points out that October and November are unexpectedly busy months for new Saturn titles, and specifically mentions Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter as looking great, with the Taito graphic bonus being a nice extra. The main top 20 chart shows Sakura Wars holding the top spot, a testament to its popularity, followed closely by the evergreen fighting classic, Virtua Fighter 2. Highlighted as Pickup Check Game are a few specific titles from the list. Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter is featured at number 4, with a screenshot showing the frantic tag team combat. Sagata Senshiro, The console's legendary mascot appears at number 7, with a screenshot capturing his unique fighting style. And Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 3 is shown at number 24, with text confirming the heroine for this entry and a character screenshot. Finally, the page includes release schedules for upcoming games planned for autumn/winter and titles with dates yet to be decided, giving players a preview of the diverse software lineup expected, covering genres from RPGs and simulations to fighting and adventure games. This page features the latest installment of the SEGA Saturn Reader's Race, a comprehensive ranking of every Saturn game released up to October 9th, totaling an impressive 1083 titles based on reader-submitted ratings. This is the long-running poll where players give their scores to all their favorite SEGA Saturn software. The main section presents the ranked list, with the top spot firmly held by the highly acclaimed RPG Sakura Wars 2. Thou Shalt Not Die. This title continues to dominate the charts, reflecting its immense popularity among Saturn owners. A smaller section at the bottom right highlights the significance of this period for the ranking, noting that the crown of the final first place is being decided as the console's life cycle approaches its end and the countdown to the Dreamcast begins. It specifically mentions Sakura Wars 2's strong performance and questions if it will indeed be the definitive #1 game. The screenshot in this section features characters from Sakura Wars 2, underscoring its prominence. The SEGA Saturn Reader's Race highlights new releases, showcasing top-rated games and underdogs. New challengers includes Koi no Summer Fantasy in Miyazaki Sigaya, 9.3333. A dating sim praised for its realism. The visual novel Dukoku Soshite Final Edition, 9.0, lauded for its horror elements. And 2 Puradoru disc titles, Cosplayers, 8.875, and Race Queen G, 8.0, appreciated for fan service. New underdogs features Dream Generation, 7.8. A simulation game, Iron Man and Exo Manowar in Heavy Metal, 6.8. An action game based on comics, Umibe de Reach, 6.3333. A mahjong game, and Backgainer, 5.0, which disappointed some due to incomplete battle scenes. The page also continues the SEGA Saturn Reader's Race ranking list. This page continues the SEGA Saturn Reader's Race, listing games ranked by readers with their genre and scores, covering ranks from the late 300s down to the 760s. This page features a spotlight on the adventure game Cross Detective Story, highlighting it as a recommended title. The article praises its strong storytelling, stating it feels like playing the lead in a mystery drama. The graphics are noted positively for expressive character visuals and detailed backgrounds, which can be investigated using a pointer system. The gameplay involves examining locations, interviewing characters, and using deduction to solve the case, appealing to fans of classic mystery adventures. The game received a strong reader score of 9.4303 and a magazine score of 8.0, with readers enjoying the balance of difficulty and quick load times. Development staff comments indicate strong player satisfaction, with almost everyone wanting a sequel. The page also continues the SEGA Saturn Reader's Race, listing rankings from 763 down to 855, covering various genres like adventure, action, simulation, and puzzle games. Finally, the ranking section concludes by teasing the anticipation for the final #1 ranked game on SEGA Saturn, referencing popular titles like Sakura Wars 2 and Death Crimson. This page previews upcoming games and highlights reader participation activities. Featured upcoming titles include Mobile Battleship Nadesico and Shining Force 2i Scenario 3. The Nadesico game, an adventure title, is noted for connecting the TV series and movie while offering an original story, receiving a magazine score of 7.66. Shining Force 2i Scenario 3, an RPG/simulation, is praised for its compelling story conclusion, new characters, and satisfying gameplay depth, earning a strong 8.0 score. Also previewed is Digital Monster vs. Digimon Tamers, an SLG receiving a 7.0, though the reviewer notes disappointment with the lack of communication features despite the digital world setting. The page also includes the latest ranking of SEGA Saturn peripherals based on reader votes, showing which accessories are most popular. Readers are encouraged to participate in the ongoing Reader's Race by sending in their game scores and comments, with details on how to submit via postcard and the deadline. As a bonus for participating, readers can enter a drawing to win prize sets featuring SEGA Saturn accessories like joysticks and wireless controllers, plus a game of their choice. There are also prediction games, where readers can guess the ranking position or average score of newly released games. Finally, the page announces that the magazine will be changing its name to Dorimaga, starting soon. This page is a major feature page from the weekly Dreamcast magazine from the October 23, 1998 issue. It highlights a flood of exciting announcements for the Dreamcast console. Capcom revealed 2 huge titles: the next installment in the survival horror series, Resident Evil Code, Veronica, and the vibrant 3D arena brawler, Power Stones. SEGA is bringing 3 of its most popular arcade hits to the console, announcing the ports of Cyber Troopers Virtual-On Oratorio Tangram, complete with the first look at its Dreamcast graphics, alongside the highly anticipated Virtua Fighter 3 TB and the rally racing masterpiece Sega Rally 2. The page also features an exclusive interview with Yu Suzuki discussing Virtua Fighter 3 TB and the mysterious Project Berkeley, which gamers would come to know as Shenmue. Other upcoming titles mentioned include Geist Force, Puyo Puyon, Sonic Adventure, Blue Stinger, and Seventh Cross, demonstrating the diverse range of games heading to the system. The dynamic artwork features a large illustration of a Virtualoid character, likely from Virtual-On. This issue is clearly packed with crucial details for future Dreamcast owners. This October 9, 1998, Dreamcast Data Station article previews the upcoming console launch in 49 days. It highlights the excitement surrounding numerous game announcements and fluctuating popularity rankings. A user-voted top 10 list reveals Sonic Adventure leading the pack, followed by Virtua Fighter 3 TB and Sega Rally 2, showcasing diverse genre appeal. Featured pickup titles include Sonic Adventure, Virtua Fighter 3 TB with an 80% development completion, and Sega Rally 2, each accompanied by screenshots. A comprehensive list of scheduled Dreamcast titles confirms a robust launch lineup from publishers like Sega and Capcom, spanning genres and incorporating features like visual memory unit support and online capabilities. Release dates and prices for many games were still pending. This page gives us a fantastic look at what's exciting gamers right now, both for the upcoming Dreamcast and in the arcades. The Dreamcast Want to Convert Top 20 is led by powerhouse series like Sakura Wars and Final Fantasy, but also includes major arcade hits like Daytona USA 2 and Virtua Striker 2. It's particularly interesting to see strong demand for titles like Metal Gear Solid and Resident Evil 2, showing players are hoping Dreamcast becomes a home for the biggest games regardless of their original platform. The feature highlights the significant announcements of Cyber Troopers Virtual-On Oratorio Tangram and the fully polygonal Resident Evil Code, Veronica, hinting at the kind of games the Dreamcast is capable of. On the arcade side, the Show Up! Arcade Video Games Top 15 confirms the dominance of fighting and racing games. Virtua Striker 2 Ver 98 and Virtua Fighter 3 TB are the top contenders, joined by mainstays like Street Fighter Alpha 3, The King of Fighters 98, Tekken 3, and the impressive Soul Calibur. The list also includes popular titles like Sega Rally 2, Daytona USA 2, and Beatmania Second Mix. Featured arcade games include the mech-battling Gem Tech Romancer, praised for its unique feel, the intense shooting action of Beastbusters, Second Nightmare, and the detailed train simulation of Densha de Go 2, noted for its expanded content. It's clear there's a lot of exciting stuff happening in arcades that players are hoping to see on their home consoles. This page is an advertisement for an upcoming book titled Making of Red Company, a deep dive into the history of the acclaimed developer. Known for major game series like Chaumashin Ayuden Wataru, the legendary Far East of Eden series, and the hugely successful Sakura Wars, this book promises to chronicle Red Company's journey from its founding to the present. It features insights from creators like Hiroi Oji, covers the company's origins, key members, characters, and even provides a Red Company encyclopedia. This comprehensive, 112-page, full-color book offers fans and gamers a detailed look at one of the industry's influential studios. It is scheduled for release this autumn with an estimated price of 1,300 yen. The visual design features traditional Japanese festival elements and prominent images of key figures. This page is dedicated to a major announcement from Capcom regarding upcoming titles for the Dreamcast. Prominently featured are the Capcom and Dreamcast logos alongside a large title announcement headline. The main focus is on 2 highly anticipated games, Power Stone and Resident Evil Code, Veronica. Power Stone is depicted with a vibrant screenshot showing characters in a dynamic 3D environment, reflecting its description as a full-color 3D adventure play. Resident Evil Code. Veronica is presented with a darker, intense screenshot featuring Claire Redfield facing off against zombies, confirming its survival horror genre roots. The page also includes a message from Capcom producer Yoshiki Okamoto, likely discussing the development and significance of these titles for the Dreamcast platform. The text highlights that these games were recently unveiled at an AM show, built upon Capcom's powerful Naomi arcade board technology, which the Dreamcast is based on. The overall tone conveys high expectations and excitement for both titles, leveraging the Dreamcast's capabilities and Capcom's development prowess. This page dives deeper into Capcom's upcoming Dreamcast title, Power Stone, emphasizing that it's fundamentally a competitive action game rather than a traditional fighting game. The article highlights dynamic gameplay involving interacting with the 3D environment, such as climbing structures and using objects, which sets it apart from standard head-to-head fighters. Screenshots showcase vibrant battles with characters utilizing these environmental elements. The article also confirms that Power Stone runs on Capcom's powerful Naomi arcade board, the same architecture as the Dreamcast, ensuring a high-fidelity port based on footage shown at a recent arcade expo. Development progress is noted, with glimpses of character sketches and the team at work, building excitement for this unique action title set in a 19th century world of adventurers seeking the legendary Power Stone. This page introduces the latest entry in the survival horror series, Resident Evil Code Veronica, arriving on the Dreamcast. Following the two-virus outbreak in Raccoon City, which Claire Redfield and Leon S. Kennedy barely escaped, Claire embarks on a search for her brother. 3 months later, her pursuit leads her to Europe, where she is captured and imprisoned on a remote island, setting the stage for a new nightmare. The article highlights the significant leap in presentation thanks to the Dreamcast's capabilities. Utilizing lighting effects, full polygon models, and real-time camera work, the game aims to push the boundaries of terror and immersion. The visuals are praised for exceeding previous installments, with detailed environments and dynamic elements like collapsing structures contributing to the atmosphere. Screenshots and concept art showcase the chilling detail of enemies like zombies, and the intricate design of locations like a prison exterior and a grand interior, promising a visually stunning and terrifying experience that the Dreamcast is perfectly suited for. This page delves into the origins of the iconic Resident Evil series, focusing on the groundbreaking first game that premiered on PlayStation and subsequently came to SEGA Saturn. It highlights how the game established the survival horror genre with its intense atmosphere, limited resources, and focus on escape from a terrifying, enclosed environment. The article touches on various versions released, including the director's cut, which introduced new gameplay elements. Beyond the game, the page presents a range of official merchandise, noting the unique approach of featuring in-universe organization logos like stars and R.P.D. on items such as replica jackets and accessories, rather than just character images. It showcases some impressive pieces, like a skull-emblazoned leather jacket, and even a detailed replica handgun, appealing to dedicated fans. The next page jumps into the world of Resident Evil 2. It details the highly anticipated sequel that moved the setting from the iconic mansion to the zombie-infested Raccoon City, specifically the police station. The article highlights how the game ramps up the horror compared to the original, featuring a greater number of enemies, including tougher, mutated creatures, but also providing players with more weapons and ammunition to survive the relentless onslaught. The story summary introduces the dual protagonists: rookie cop, Leon S. Kennedy, arriving on his first day, and Claire Redfield, searching for her missing brother. Their paths tragically intersect as they become caught in the horrific Raccoon City outbreak, emphasizing the game's focus on survival amidst chaos. Beyond the game itself, the page showcases the expanded media footprint, specifically focusing on CD albums. Released under Capcom's Sula Pewter label, these include drama albums that build on the game's story and various soundtracks, underscoring the critical role of sound design in the horror genre. Finally, the page touches upon other related ventures, like the limited-time Biohazard Nightmare horror attraction at Osaka Expo Land, featuring real actors playing zombies for an intense scare experience. This page showcases Sega's major arcade titles making their way to the Dreamcast. The prominent headline declares, "Sega's 3 big arcade games arrive on Dreamcast," highlighting the console's promise of bringing cutting-edge arcade experiences home. The page is structured into 3 sections, each dedicated to a highly anticipated port. First up is Cyber Troopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram, featuring vibrant artwork of its iconic mechs, indicating a focus on the game's fast-paced robot combat. Next is Virtua Fighter 3TB, displaying a striking portrait of the character Akira Yuki, underscoring the game's detailed graphics and renowned fighting mechanics. Finally, SEGA Rally 2 is featured, showing a dynamic shot of a car, representing the thrilling off-road racing action the series is known for. Each section includes a clear call to action, directing readers to specific pages for more details on these arcade-perfect ports. The bottom of the page proudly displays the Sega Arcade, powered by Model 3 logo, emphasizing the powerful hardware behind these impressive conversions. This page kicks off a massive 18-page exclusive feature detailing the arrival of 3 major Sega arcade titles on the Dreamcast. The headline shouts a big scoop about these games, which pushed the limits of arcade hardware at the time using the powerful Model 3 board. The accompanying text discusses how these highly anticipated games, including Cyber Troopers, Virtualon Oratorio Tangram, Virtua Fighter 3TB, and SEGA Rally 2, are coming home. It highlights that the Dreamcast ports of Virtua Fighter 3TB and SEGA Rally 2, though shown before, are now being revealed with their first ever public screenshots here, and are described as being at a wonderful level of completion, potentially surpassing simple arcade-perfect ports. The article questions how faithfully the Dreamcast can reproduce the Model 3's power, and also mentions an analysis of these games and the mysterious Project Berkeley tentative. The page is visually divided into 3 sections, each dedicated to one of the featured games. Cyber Troopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram is prominently displayed, announcing its porting decision and showing the first gameplay screenshot. Next, Virtua Fighter 3TB is featured with a big scoop and its first screen reveal, alongside the mention of Project Berkeley. Finally, SEGA Rally 2 is shown with a dynamic screenshot. The bottom banner excitedly proclaims that these titles are comes to Dreamcast. This page kicks off the dive into the individual titles announced, prominently featuring the highly anticipated Cyber Troopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram. It declares the arrival of the main contender from the Sega arcades onto the Dreamcast. As promised on the previous page, this is part of the big push to bring major Model 3 titles home. The accompanying text highlights Virtualon Oratorio Tangram as the main event among the announced ports like Virtua Fighter 3TB and SEGA Rally 2, confirming its development is now actively underway. It promises a detailed look at the game. Screenshots showcase the fast-paced, robotic combat the series is famous for, giving players a first look at how the Dreamcast version is shaping up. While release date and price were undecided at this point, the confirmation of this iconic versus action game for the Dreamcast was a huge deal for fans. This page dives deep into the highly anticipated Dreamcast port of Cyber Troopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram, calling it the overwhelmingly most wanted port candidate, launching with a complete port plus alpha. It builds on the previous page's announcement by presenting comments from the series producer, Drive Watari, which start to reveal what the Dreamcast version will entail. The page highlights that this won't be a mere straight port, but suggests a grand concept is at play, hinting at features or content beyond the arcade original, which aligns perfectly with the plus alpha mentioned in the title. Screenshots of the game are shown, giving a glimpse of the intense mech battles on the new hardware. Dr. Watari's insights fuel excitement, promising a version that leverages the Dreamcast's capabilities and offers something new for fans, making this port far more than just a simple arcade translation. This page dives deeper into the highly anticipated Cyber Troopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram for Dreamcast. Following up on the initial announcement, it showcases the dramatic evolution in graphics and gameplay system powered by the arcade's Model 3 hardware, promising a definitive version far beyond a simple port. The magazine highlights the enhanced visual detail of the Virtualoids and the refined world design, addressing feedback from the original game. Gameplay improvements are a major focus, detailing deeper 3D combat mechanics, including enhanced dashing, jumping, and tactical maneuvers. A huge upgrade is the significant expansion of special attacks for all mechs, adding impressive visual flair and strategic depth, a significant leap from the previous game where these were limited. The page presents a lineup of some key Virtualoids, including the versatile Temujin, the powerful laser specialist Raiden, and the agile aerial fighter Cypher, briefly describing their roles. Excitingly, it also teases the potential inclusion of a hidden Virtualoid, Azim, suggesting the Dreamcast version may indeed contain content beyond the arcade original. Overall, the page conveys the immense excitement surrounding this port, emphasizing its advanced features and faithfulness to the arcade experience while adding new elements. This page delves deeper into Cyber Troopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram, showcasing its significant gameplay enhancements and diverse battlegrounds. The action system has been completely revamped, allowing for many more complex moves. New tactics like Turbo Shot combine inputs for varied attacks, and the ability to cancel attack recovery frames opens up strategic possibilities, especially in close quarters combat, which has been refined with aerial attacks and turbo button combos. The stages themselves are highlighted as strategic elements, built using the powerful Model 3 hardware to be detailed environments, with obstacles requiring careful positioning. Examples include the undersea plant, storage depot, abandoned quarry, and unholy cathedral, each presenting unique challenges. The page also provides a concise history of the Virtualon series, tracing its roots from the 1995 arcade original on Model 2, through its SEGA Saturn ports including the SegaNet version known for its online battles, and leading up to the 1998 arcade release of Oratorio Tangram on the Model 3 Step 2 board, emphasizing its scale UP and refined control system. Finally, 4 distinct Virtualoids are introduced: the Agile Fayen KN with her powerful Heartbeam and Hyper Mode, the Melee Expert APHARMDB, the High Firepower APHARMDS focused on mid-range combat, and the Projectile Heavy Grisfolk. The descriptions emphasize their unique combat styles and strategic roles. The content clearly conveys the excitement for the upcoming Dreamcast version, highlighting its technical prowess and evolved gameplay, building upon the series' strong legacy. This page continues the coverage of Cyber Troopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram, shifting focus to the upcoming Dreamcast release and the elements that will make it unique compared to the arcade or previous Saturn versions. It delves into the potential for various game modes, referencing the Versus modes from the Saturn version, including the screen split option and the online X-Band battles. The text suggests the Dreamcast version will go beyond these, offering new ways to play. A major point of discussion is the controller situation, specifically the potential appearance of a dedicated twin-stick controller for the Dreamcast, comparing it to the well-regarded Saturn version. It also touches upon how the game might be played using the standard Dreamcast controller. Finally, the page introduces 4 more Virtualoids set to appear in the game. We see Balbados XBV-819TR, noted for its diverse remote attacks. There's Dorodre RVR-68, emphasized for its high defense and firepower. Angelan SGV-417 is highlighted for its unique magical girl-like form and powerful attacks. Lastly, Spesinef RVR-87 is presented as the fastest Virtualoid, with a death god-like design and requiring advanced tactics. These new additions demonstrate the expanded roster and gameplay possibilities in Oratorio Tangram. This page continues the deep dive into Cyber Troopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram, specifically focusing on the potential scale and surprising secrets of the upcoming Dreamcast version. The magazine boldly predicts integration with Sega's Naomi arcade board, hinting at possibilities beyond standard home console ports. A key element discussed is the Dreamcast's built-in 3.6K modem, suggesting robust online play for versus battles, potentially including team modes that could even surpass the arcade experience. The article also explores the use of the Visual Memory Unit (VMS) for data transfer, like character customization, that could be used in arcade communication battles. A really cool concept for bridging the home and arcade scenes. The visuals show the Dreamcast console with the modem connected, highlighting the online capability, and images of the Naomi board and VMS together, illustrating the potential linkage. The page also includes a reader survey showing strong demand for the game on Dreamcast, with most readers expressing a desire to buy it. Based on reader feedback, the article summarizes features people want in the DC version, such as comprehensive training modes, online world rankings, extensive customization options including a robot editor, and unique gameplay modes like a Ghost in the Shell style mission or a Gungraphon style Masenami battle. It finishes by teasing a major reveal from Dr. Wataru regarding the Dreamcast version's full details in the next issue. The next page features a major scoop on one of the most anticipated arcade games making the leap to the Dreamcast, Virtua Fighter 3 TB. As part of a large feature covering big arcade titles, this article focuses on Sega's premier 3D fighting game. It highlights the game's immense popularity in arcades and the challenge of perfectly replicating that experience on the home console. The page proudly announces the first public release of screenshots for the Dreamcast version, referred to as the D version, promising a closer look at how the port is shaping up. It mentions that the version showcased at the autumn 1998 Tokyo Game Show was said to be a perfect match for the arcade original. The page is visually impressive, featuring striking images of the metallic character Dural and the protagonist Akira Yuki, alongside smaller portraits of the full roster of fighters including Sarah, Jackie, Lion, Pai, Lao, Wolf, Jeffrey, Cage, Shun, Aoi, and Takarashi. The article teases further insights into the game's development, including an interview with series creator Yu Suzuki. The game is slated for a Japanese release at the end of 1998, with the price yet to be decided, supporting 12 players in 3D versus combat. This page continues the deep dive into the highly anticipated Dreamcast port of Virtua Fighter 3 TB. Following up on the previous page's announcement, it proudly presents the first public screenshots of the home console version. The article states that the game is already playable, with the current build showing a completion level of 60%. While initially featuring 3 stages and 4 characters, Lao, Jeffrey, Sarah, Lion, Cage, the latest version already allows play with all characters, and character modeling is being rapidly updated to match the arcade quality. The page provides a thorough visual comparison between the Dreamcast version and the arcade's Model 3 original, using multiple screenshots. It highlights the power of the Dreamcast's hardware, claiming it can perfectly reproduce the high-fidelity graphics and 60 frames per second movement of the arcade version, even handling complex elements like light sources and terrain changes. Undulation. The stage modeling is confirmed to use the same source data as the arcade, ensuring accuracy. The article expresses excitement about the Dreamcast's potential, suggesting it easily handles the demanding Model 3 port, and even exceeds the capabilities of some commercial CG boards, pushing the boundaries for home console graphics. The ability to freely change viewpoint is also noted as a feature. This page continues our look at the upcoming Dreamcast port of Virtua Fighter 3 TB, focusing here on the details of the subway stage, described as a subway underground sudden death battle. The article highlights the strategic elements of this particular arena, noting the possibilities for ring-outs to the left and right, the importance of using the wall in front for offensive and defensive tactics, and the dynamic battles that unfold on the undulating terrain of the stairs in the background. The page presents a visual comparison, featuring several screenshots labeled as either the Dreamcast version or the arcade Model 3 version. These images showcase characters like Jeffrey, Cage, Labao, Pei, and Sarah battling in the subway stage. The commentary emphasizes the Dreamcast's ability to reproduce the arcade's detailed stage modeling and effects, including light sources and the terrain changes, pushing the graphical capabilities of home consoles. It confirms the development progress, stating the current build is 60% complete, with a version over 80% being shown at the game show, which reviewers felt was almost indistinguishable from the arcade original. The high level of detail and faithful recreation are praised, suggesting the Dreamcast version is exceeding expectations. This page continues our detailed look at the upcoming Dreamcast port of Virtua Fighter 3 TB, showcasing several distinct stages and the impressive fidelity of the conversion. We get a glimpse of the library stage, with its strategic stair layout impacting combat, the snowfield, the dynamic and swaying raft stage, the scenic island, and the multi-level roof stage, notable for its significant elevation changes and unique air combo opportunities. Screenshots compare the arcade, Model 3, and Dreamcast versions for some stages, highlighting how faithfully the environments, including architectural details and unique stage mechanics like the roof slope, and even small elements like sparrows, have been recreated. The article expresses excitement for how other signature stages from Virtua Fighter 3 TB will be reproduced on the Dreamcast, including features like dynamic weather and hidden events. A dedicated section covers the playable demo available at a game show, confirming the high quality of the build shown, which many felt was nearly indistinguishable from the arcade original. This demo allowed players to try out 5 key characters and included details about the planned peripherals, like a special joystick. The anticipation is high for this port, and the page teases a special interview with AM2's Yu Suzuki on the following pages. The next page features an exclusive interview with Yu Suzuki, head of AM2, discussing the highly anticipated Dreamcast port of Virtua Fighter 3 TB and other projects. Suzuki provides updates on the development progress, commenting on the graphical quality of the Dreamcast version, which he states is improving significantly and is getting much closer to the arcade Model 3 original. He touches on the challenges and progress of porting games to the Dreamcast hardware, noting it's easier than the SEGA Saturn era. A major point of interest is the discussion around the potential release of Virtua Fighter 3 TB on the Naomi arcade board, adding another layer of excitement. The interview also briefly mentions Project Berkeley, teasing future developments from AM2. The page suggests that the Tokyo Game Show build of VF3TB for Dreamcast will showcase the remarkable fidelity of the port, feeling like a complete conversion of the arcade experience. Images include shots of the Dreamcast version of VF3TB and a visual showing a Dreamcast VMU alongside a Naomi setup, highlighting the potential Naomi release. The next page continues the exclusive interview with AM2 head Yu Suzuki. The discussion initially focuses on the Dreamcast port of Virtua Fighter 3 TB, revealing that a striking CG movie featuring the Virtua Fighter 3 characters, lasting over 2 minutes, is planned for inclusion in the Dreamcast version. The page then shifts to an exciting teaser for a new project. Under the title, "What is the new work? Project Berkeley, Provisional?" The article announces that this mysterious title, which recently appeared on Dreamcast release lists, is indeed a brand new game being developed by Yu Suzuki himself for the Dreamcast. It is noted as Suzuki's first foray into leading a full-scale home console game development. While listed as an RPG, the text speculates that its genre might be difficult to define, hinting at something groundbreaking. The page builds significant anticipation for the next issue of the magazine, promising a full reveal of Yu Suzuki's ambitious new challenge, Project Berkeley. The visual includes a large question mark, emphasizing the mystery surrounding the project. This page brings more exciting news for Dreamcast, focusing on another major arcade hit, SEGA Rally 2 Championship. The page announces that the Dreamcast port of this highly anticipated racing game is now in development, with the process having begun towards creating a perfect port of the arcade experience. It notes that despite previously stating development was more than half done in an earlier issue, readers were eager for proof. Now initial screenshots are available, allowing for a comparison with the arcade version and hinting at the console's power. The Dreamcast version promises not just a faithful translation of the arcade game, including aiming for a smooth 60 frames per second, but also significant original content. This includes various new game modes like Time Attack, and potentially new cars and courses specifically for the home release. A major highlight is the inclusion of online multiplayer, allowing players to compete using the Dreamcast's communication capabilities, a significant feature for the time. The game was featured at the Tokyo Game Show '98 autumn and is slated for a release towards the end of the year. This page delivers more exciting news for Dreamcast owners, with the first screenshots of SEGA Rally 2 Championship. Following up on the earlier announcement, we can now see the game in action on the console. The page highlights that the game is currently 60% complete, and despite this, the visuals are already remarkably close to the arcade original. The side-by-side comparison shots on a snowy course demonstrate the impressive fidelity the Dreamcast is achieving. Beyond just the arcade port, the article also touches upon new effects appearing in the PC version of SEGA Rally 2, such as dynamic lighting from headlights illuminating a foggy night course. It suggests that the Dreamcast version will leverage its hardware capabilities to incorporate similar advanced visual effects, promising a port that aims not only for arcade accuracy, but also introduces new elements and pushes the console's graphical prowess, particularly in areas like atmospheric effects. These initial images are a strong indicator that the Dreamcast version of SEGA Rally 2 will be a top-tier racing title. This page delves further into SEGA Rally 2 Championship on Dreamcast, presenting 5 newly released screenshots. The focus here is a detailed examination of the Dreamcast version's replay screens compared to the arcade original. The article highlights the effort to recreate the arcade courses faithfully, showing a split between a Dreamcast screenshot of the desert course and an arcade shot of the snowy one, similar to the course featured on the previous page. While acknowledging some subtle differences, the text praises the high level of reproduction achieved on the Dreamcast, suggesting the visuals are remarkably close to the arcade experience even from these replay views. The page also features a smaller screenshot of a night course, indicating variety in environments. Beyond the technical aspects, the article includes a section discussing the global appeal of rally racing, particularly its strong following in Europe, and posits that SEGA Rally's success stems from effectively capturing the thrilling feel of the sport, especially the exciting drift maneuvers. Finally, the page shows the impressive SEGA Rally 2 arcade cabinet, noting that while the full scale of this setup can't be replicated, the arcade play is the ultimate realistic experience. This page provides a detailed look at the upcoming Dreamcast port of SEGA Rally 2 Championship, presenting several comparison screenshots between the Dreamcast and arcade versions of the mountain and snowy courses. The article examines the graphical accuracy, noting the high level of detail and polygon count the Dreamcast achieves, faithfully reproducing the arcade's environments and car models. While minor differences are observed, such as the perceived scale of the cars, the commentary highlights the impressive fidelity of the visuals, even from these replay perspectives. Further screenshots show the desert course, emphasizing the variety of tracks. A column offers a reviewer's thoughts, expressing anticipation for the game's feel and features like replay options. The page strongly promotes the game's presence at the Tokyo Game Show, urging readers to attend and experience the quality firsthand. It mentions the substantial content in the home version, including more courses and cars than the arcade original. The overall message is that the Dreamcast version is a robust port that maintains the arcade's thrill while adding new elements. This page features the exciting reveal of Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast, focusing on the newly unveiled adventure part of the game. Described as a departure from traditional gameplay, this section highlights story elements and cutscenes. The article mentions that the game will be playable for the first time at the Tokyo Game Show. Visuals on the page include a dynamic shot of Sonic, renders of Amy Rose and Dr. Eggman, and screenshots showing the urban environment of Station Square, the game's primary setting. Text discusses the dramatic appearance of Dr. Eggman's massive airship, the Egg Carrier, over the city and mentions Amy Rose being present amidst the ensuing confusion in Station Square. It highlights the high quality of the CG cutscenes that will be included. The game is slated for release within the year. This page continues the exciting reveal of Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast, highlighting it as the first Sonic title for the new console. The prominent title declares, Eggman's Evil Hand, setting the stage for the game's conflict. Visually, the page features a dramatic close-up of Sonic, a dynamic shot of Dr. Eggman's imposing airship, the Egg Carrier, and a lively screenshot of Amy Rose running through the detailed urban environment of Station Square. The prologue text provides narrative context, describing Station Square as a diverse metropolis where Amy Rose lives. It details Sonic's return to the city after a long journey, immediately coinciding with the dramatic appearance of a mysterious creature and the ensuing chaos, which Sonic rushes into. A translated quote, likely from one of the characters reacting to the unfolding events, reads, "Looks like you're doing something interesting." Furthermore, a section from Sonic Team features a comment from Takashi Iizuka, providing insight into the development. He discusses the goal of conveying the immense scale of the Egg Carrier and creating realistic cityscapes in Station Square to immerse players in the game's dramatic moments and Sonic's perspective, emphasizing the dynamic action against the backdrop of a real-world inspired environment. This page dives into the long-awaited reveal of Amy Rose's story in Sonic Adventure. Titled, Finally, Amy's Story is Revealed. Amy in Station Square. It details how her quiet life in the bustling metropolis is interrupted when she encounters a small bird fleeing from Eggman's forces. This chance meeting quickly pulls her back into adventure, leading to a dramatic reunion with Sonic. The page features several screenshots showcasing key moments: Amy carrying shopping, her meeting with the injured bird, the menacing Eggman Robot Zero, and the highly anticipated face-to-face encounter between Amy and Sonic in Station Square. Her determined line, "Even if you say no, I'm coming with you," is prominently displayed, emphasizing her classic personality hasn't faded. Takashi Iizuka of Sonic Team provides commentary, explaining Amy's character growth. While she once simply chased Sonic into trouble, her life in Station Square had become peaceful. However, the need to protect the small bird reignites her adventurous spirit. He notes that despite Sonic's reaction to their reunion, Amy's core personality and determination remain strong, promising an exciting role for her in the game. The page underscores that this story will see Amy fiercely protecting the bird, declaring, "As long as I'm here, I won't let anyone lay a finger on you." This page shifts focus to the primary antagonists and unfolding plot of Sonic Adventure. Dr. Eggman makes his official media debut here, looking particularly confident, which the article points out given his past failures. A specific encounter is highlighted: Knuckles facing off against Eggman, a confrontation the article notes is intriguing given Knuckles' history. The true identity of Chaos is also revealed, described as an ancient liquid lifeform brought back by Eggman. While its origins are unclear, its power comes from absorbing Chaos Emeralds, allowing it to transform and become stronger. Eggman intends to use this growing power to devastate the city, raising questions about how he'll control the increasingly formidable creature and the potential consequences if Chaos gathers all 7 emeralds. Screenshots show Chaos in various forms and locations, including confrontations with Sonic. Highlights of the game are mentioned, including a playable demo version where Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are confirmed characters, with hints that others might be playable. The impressive movie scenes are also called out as a significant feature.
The page also touches upon stage events, suggesting potential reveals or performances related to the game. A screenshot of Amy Rose appears, perhaps linking back to the previously detailed story in Station Square.
This page shifts focus to the upcoming Dreamcast title, Blue Stinger. The main art features the 2 protagonists, Elliotness and Dogs, set against a cosmic backdrop with a mysterious, glowing figure. Screenshots display gameplay environments, including explosive scenes and underwater segments, along with character health/ammo bars. The text confirms key details about the game. It's a Dreamcast title from SEGA and Climax Graphics, scheduled for release in late 1998, with the price yet to be determined. It's classified as an adventure-action game and is a single-player experience.
The headline prominently states, "The disaster comes at Christmas." The article highlights Blue Stinger as a highly anticipated original title for the Dreamcast. It promises new screenshots and confirmation that the game will be playable at the Tokyo Game Show. The setting is an isolated island near Christmas, where inhabitants face an unprecedented crisis. The unique, enclosed location creates a tense atmosphere. The article emphasizes the appeal of this cinematic adventure action game, showcasing the combined efforts of Climax Graphics to deliver a compelling experience, urging readers to feel the excitement firsthand.
This page delves deeper into the world of Blue Stingers, specifically introducing the key characters. Featured prominently are the 2 main protagonists. Elliot G. Ballard, a 28-year-old hot-blooded maritime rescuer who finds himself thrust into the unfolding disaster while on vacation, and Dogs Bowser, a 43-year-old ship captain with a mysterious past as a former soldier. Both Elliot and Dogs are confirmed as player characters, though Dogs' combat style is noted as being less refined than Elliot's, hinting at scenarios where his specific abilities might be necessary. The page also introduces Janine King, a genius member of the rescue team important to the story, and the enigmatic Nephilim, described as a mysterious spirit or light form surrounding Elliot, whose true nature and purpose are unknown, appearing as a copy of another form. Screenshots showcase gameplay action featuring Elliot and Dogs battling creatures in various environments, including a festive Christmas area, and highlight the in-game HUD elements like health and ammo bars. This page expands on the creatures encountered in Blue Stinger. While previous reports focused on terrestrial monsters, this page reveals that the island is also home to hostile entities lurking underwater, including a newly discovered piranha-type creature. All creatures are collectively referred to as dinosaurites. The page highlights 2 main categories: terrestrial dinosaurites and mutated dinosaurites. Screenshots showcase tense underwater encounters with large, unseen aquatic beings, and also provide glimpses of the diverse terrestrial types. A particularly disturbing revelation is the existence of human dinosaurites, creatures believed to have transformed from humans, showcased in separate images. The text questions the true nature and origins of these hostile life forms, and even muses on the dangers of using electrical weapons in aquatic environments.
This page explores Blue Stinger's visual effects in gameplay. Translucent processing creates atmospheric effects like mist and murky water, enhancing depth and realism. Parallel light source processing provides dynamic scene lighting, illustrated by images showing street corners and corridors. The focus then shifts to the action-oriented gameplay showcased in the game show demo. The protagonist, Elliot, wields diverse weapons, including bazookas and melee attacks. The survival-based demo, set in Rabotown on Dinosaur Island during Christmas, features limited ammo, encouraging exploration. Developer Shinya Nishigaki highlights the impressive lighting and orchestral music, powered by the Dreamcast, urging players to experience the game firsthand and complete the demo. This page highlights the highly anticipated Dreamcast RPG, Evolution, World of Sacred Device, developed by Sting. Positioned as a key title to boost the console's lineup, the article features a direct interview with the developers, exploring the game's creation process. Described as a romantic adventure action drama, the game aims to be an accessible RPG experience, with compelling 3D visuals and dynamic camera work. Screenshots showcase the full polygon graphics in battles and environments. The page also introduces key characters like Chain Gun and Greg Nade, providing brief descriptions.
Further sections delve into discussions with the directors about the game's unique appeal and offer a look at valuable character concept art, providing insight into the design process. This behind-the-scenes look covers developer passion and the detail put into the world and its inhabitants. This page continues the deep dive into Evolution, World of Sacred Device, highlighting key aspects of this upcoming Dreamcast RPG. The main characters are featured prominently, including the protagonist mag launcher, the mysterious linear cannon, and the formidable chain gun. The page breaks down the game's elements, starting with the worldview, describing a world where a highly advanced ancient civilization collapsed, leaving behind remnants of technology that coexist with a newer human civilization. The story section explains Mag's quest, following the disappearance of his adventurer parents, his daily life exploring ruins, and the disruption caused by the Empire's interference. Gameplay elements are detailed, with a focus on the battle system. Screenshots demonstrate the smooth 3D battles, emphasizing simple commands, dungeon exploration, and the ability to strategically dodge enemies or initiate surprise attacks. The support item section introduces Psi-frames, ancient technology utilized by adventurers like Mag, which are essentially customizable weapons or tools tailored to the user. These items are key to exploring ruins and combating monsters, with options for additional parts and power-ups. The page confirms the game is for the Dreamcast, developed by Especially and Sting, with a planned release in late 1998. Concept art is also displayed, giving further insight into the character designs. This article provides a solid overview of Evolution's setting, core mechanics, and visual style, building anticipation for its release. This page features an interview with Yoshisa Tomita from Sting, discussing the development of Evolution, World of Sacred Device. He explains the game's origins, noting the idea solidified with the Dreamcast hardware's capabilities. The focus was on creating an RPG with a refreshing sense of speed, utilizing the Dreamcast power for detailed 3D character models and seamless integration of event scenes, Sharadimo, with combat and movement. Tomita highlights the ability to render background characters and real-time polygons as key strengths that wouldn't have been possible on previous hardware like the Saturn. The article also introduces Sting as a developer known for unique RPGs, mentioning their representative works like Baroque, SEGA Saturn, and Treasure Hunter G, Super Famicom. The character sketches displayed appear to be concept art for the protagonist, Mag Launcher, showing different angles and designs, emphasizing a dynamic and energetic character concept designed to overcome difficulties. A small screenshot is also visible, depicting a character in a dungeon environment. This page continues the feature on Evolution, World of Sacred Device, highlighting the impact of the Dreamcast hardware's capabilities on the game's development and the player experience. The article includes an interview segment, where the developers discuss how the new hardware allows for a seamless presentation of characters across different scenes, from exploration to dialogue and event sequences. They explain that unlike on older hardware, where character models might change between different types of scenes, the Dreamcast enables consistent, detailed 3D models that can be used for close-ups without visual degradation. The interview also delves into the game's world setting, emphasizing that it departs from the typical swords and magic fantasy seen in many RPGs, instead offering a unique environment. Concept art for the character Linear Cannon is featured, showing her design and described as having a frail yet protective presence. Screenshots at the bottom provide glimpses of the game's visual style during combat and exploration. The photo is of Marco Wada from Sting, who is involved in the game's public relations and promotion. The discussion underscores how the advanced rendering power influences not just visuals, but the emotional connection players can have with the game world and characters. This page continues the deep dive into Evolution, World of Sacred Device, focusing on the game's characters and systems, as discussed by the development staff. The conversation touches on the bright personality of the protagonist, Mag, revealing that he is based on a real-life model, and contrasts him with the more passive Linear, noting how Mag drives their dynamic. The staff also discusses the charm of the characters, and hints at themes like younger boys admiring older women, perhaps related to characters like Pepper. The article includes a photo of the interviewees, identified as staff from Sega, and especially who are supporting the Dreamcast's first RPG. Visuals include concept art or character sketches under the title Chain Gun, and an atmospheric illustration of a location called Bar Casablanca, suggesting diverse environments within the game. The interview briefly mentions details about the battle system, stating that experience from previous games was utilized, and that dungeons can be explored in any order before clearing them. The staff expresses their passion and enjoyment in bringing the characters to life. This page continues the exploration of Evolution, World of Sacred Device, delving into more characters and game mechanics. We meet Narrated, a towering figure over 190 centimeters tall, who seems dedicated to looking after Mag, perhaps even skilled in the kitchen. Then there's Pepperbox, noted for her distinctive long legs and goggles. Her face without the goggles is apparently a rare sight in the game. The developers discuss the game's dynamic dungeon system. Each dungeon has unique characteristics, and their layouts change every time the party enters, utilizing a Baroque generation system that blends action and exploration. Players have the freedom to decide whether to actively engage enemies to level up, or try to avoid encounters while treasure hunting, a system reminiscent of Treasure Hunter G. A key element mentioned is the psi frame, described as something distinct from traditional magic or weapons. These powerful artifacts are used to defeat enemies, but crucially, they have compatibility with their users. Not just anyone can wield any psi frame. For example, Mag's psi frame cannot be used by Pepper. Visuals on this page include two distinct locations, a bizarre, fantastical landscape potentially tied to ancient ruins, and a claustrophobic metallic corridor with confusing pipework. The developers highlight the playable demo shown at a game show, emphasizing the smooth character animations, the visually impressive psi-frame transformations and special effects, and the detailed character expressions. They even hint that characters not yet seen in the magazine might appear later. This page highlights the arrival of next-generation shooting games on Dreamcast, addressing the concerns of fans who wondered where the genre was amidst other title announcements. SEGA reassures players they haven't forgotten their shooting roots, and introduces Geist Force, heralded as the ultimate SF shooting game. The magazine positions Geist Force as the evolution of the shooting genre, promising a brand new system, coupled with high-quality visuals. Screenshots showcase detailed futuristic spacecraft within large hangar environments, and engaging space combat sequences against vibrant nebulae or wormholes. Key details provided are that the game is developed by SEGA for the Dreamcast, was planned for release at the end of 1998, and was exhibited at the 1998 Tokyo Game Show. The price was listed as undecided at the time. The page uses the powerful phrase, sortie, or launch, to underscore the game's action focus. This page introduces Geist Force, heralded as the ultimate cinematic SF shooting game coming to the SEGA Saturn. Addressing the question of the genre's future, SEGA presents Geist Force as their answer, promising unprecedented scale and excitement. The game features a deep story set in the year 3067 on planet Sonia, where a decade-long civil war ends, only for peace to be threatened again. The conflict began with the excavation of ancient ruins, pitting technological developers against those who wished to seal the ruins. This led to war and the fear of a great cataclysm. After 10 years and intervention from the Earth Federation, peace seemingly returned, but hope was short-lived. Communication devices found in the ruins summon an ancient threat known as Meo Meta, plunging planet Sonia into a new crisis. Geist Force aims for a cinematic presentation with a brand new game system offering incredible immersion. Gameplay modes switch dynamically during missions, including a scroll mode for flying along predetermined paths, and a dogfight mode for free-range flight, supported by systems like non-stop PASM and an optimal camera system to enhance the experience. The visuals shown depict detailed futuristic ships and dynamic ground environments, suggesting a grand, large-scale conflict. This looks like an ambitious push for the shooting genre on the Saturn. This page focuses on the main player vehicle in Geist Force, the Blitz Falcons. Described as a variable fighter used by the Earth Federation fleet and deployed to planet Selenia, it's unique in its ability to utilize warp gates. The Blitz Falcon is the ship controlled by the player, and can transform into various forms depending on the mission and situation, sometimes equipped with optional units. When docked with the carrier ship Hornet, it adopts a storage form with folded wings, resembling real fighter jets. Upon launch, it transforms into a mission-appropriate shape. The text notes that the concept of power-ups is currently unknown, as is whether transformation is possible freely during gameplay. However, it highlights that the dynamic transformation sequences themselves are a feat only achievable on the Dreamcast. The page details 3 specific forms. The storage form, as mentioned, characterized by folded components. A special form is shown with large wings widely deployed, suggesting atmospheric flight. Although the exact combat situation for this form is unclear, the text mentions this form seems to have variations. Finally, an underwater form is presented, confirming the ship's capability for subaquatic operation. In this mode, the wings fold downwards, and verniers adjust, likely to minimize water resistance. The description points out the ship's versatility, given it doesn't seem to have dedicated underwater propulsion units. The next page continues the exploration of the main player vehicle from Geist Force, the Blitz Falcon, detailing more of its variable forms and introducing its mothership. This page showcases several combat configurations for the Blitz Falcon. First is the outer space combat form, specifically designed for battles in space. It achieves this capability by mounting a unit called the Zerog Booster, allowing it to fly without sacrificing performance in the vacuum. The description suggests this is less a transformation and more a reinforced configuration achieved by adding parts. Next, the close combat form is shown, described as the shape it transforms into for aerial dogfights. Characterized by its head extending forward significantly, this form is designed with an emphasis on speed over maneuverability and is specifically seen when engaging in dogfight mode. Finally, variations of the special form are presented, showing different deployments, likely allowing for tactical flexibility depending on the atmospheric or combat conditions. Below the forms, the page introduces the Mothership Hornet, an Argus-class high-speed aircraft carrier. This large carrier belongs to the Earth Federation Space Fleet and was dispatched to planet Seninia. The protagonist, flying the Blitz Falcon, uses the Hornet as their base of operations.
The mothership's codename is revealed to be Mother 1. The page emphasizes the versatility of the Blitz Falcon and the crucial role of the Hornet as its support vessel in the game's missions. This page delves into the diverse and colorful stages featured in Geist Force. The article highlights the game's commitment to creating a detailed world without compromise, as evidenced by the screenshots and CG images presented. This meticulous detail and the varied stage layouts are designed to draw the player into an unknown world, increasing both excitement and tension. The page then introduces a couple of these stages. The first stage profiled is the Plant, which appears as a modern city representing civilization. However, its name leads the rider to speculate that it might be a massive cultivation facility, raising questions about what exactly is being grown there. The second stage is the Spaceport. Located on the coast, it features a structure resembling a catapult and is thought to be an entrance to Sania. The protagonist's high-speed aircraft carrier, the Hornet, is mentioned as having landed here. The text confirms this area will be a definite battlefield, with the likely mission objective being to escort something from the spaceport. This page continues the deep dive into the diverse and imaginative stages of the unreleased SEGA Saturn title, Geist Force. Echoing the previous page's emphasis on creating a detailed and immersive world, two more distinct environments are highlighted. First up is the stage simply titled Lakes. Described as a vast body of water so expansive it could be mistaken for the sea, this fantastical stage features floating islands, from which water cascades down like magnificent waterfalls into the lake below. Intriguingly, the lake contains a massive hole, prompting speculation on whether it's tied to an ancient civilization, adding a layer of mystery to the visually impressive setting depicted in the screenshots. Below, the page introduces the Ruins stage. This area is set on a desolate land, where gigantic ancient ruins lie dormant. The description notes the stage evokes a sense of both mystery and eeriness. There's a compelling theory presented that these ruins might be the decayed forms of ancient weapons, possibly the very catalyst for the decade-long civil war mentioned in the game's backstory. The accompanying images showcase the desolate landscape and the imposing, skeletal appearance of some of the ruins, hinting at the game's darker lore elements. This page continues the look at Geist Force, shifting focus from the stages covered previously to the game's diverse and often grotesque enemies. Unlike the player's sleek ship, the enemy designs are intentionally unsettling, speculated to be based on concepts of moss or insects. The enemy force possesses the disturbing ability to invade and assimilate, meaning even Earth Federation weapons can be turned against you, as shown with a captured Belka-type flying turret. The page showcases several distinct enemy types: a strange, translucent creature resembling a mutated insect, a plant-like entity with multiple eyes found in wetlands, a static, fruit-bearing structure that attacks from a fixed position, a segmented, multi-legged insectoid with potential grasping claws, and another insect-like creature with tentacle-like appendages used for offense. The descriptions highlight the alien and often unpredictable nature of these foes, emphasizing the impressive yet unsettling detail in their designs, and speculating on their movement and attack patterns based on their appearance. This page focuses on the groundbreaking game systems implemented in Geistforce. It highlights features designed to eliminate interruptions like loading times with the non-stop PASM system, ensuring seamless transitions between gameplay, action sequences, story events, and music. The optimal camera system is detailed, explaining how camera angles dynamically shift within stages to create dramatic and powerful perspectives, enhancing the overall presentation and immersion. Other systems mentioned include multiple endings and 2 battle modes, scroll mode and dogfight mode. There's also a section questioning whether a lock-on system is included, speculating based on the visible targeting reticle and homing projectiles seen in the screenshots. A quote from the producer reinforces the game's aim for a realistic 3D shooting experience with top-tier visuals and audio. This page introduces Puyo Puyon for the Dreamcast, a highly anticipated new entry in the popular action puzzle series. The page features prominent artwork of series protagonist Arle Naja, alongside other familiar characters like Satan and Rulyu. Multiple screenshots showcase the classic Falling Puyo gameplay, highlighting the vibrant visuals and signature chain reactions. The text announces that this fan-favorite franchise is coming to the Dreamcast, signifying Compile's participation on the new platform. It mentions the series' impressive sales history, having sold over 10 million units across various hardware. Beyond Puyo Puyo, the section also briefly touches upon Compile's other notable titles on the Saturn, such as Madu Monogatari, Sorcery Saga, and Waku Waku Puyo Puyo Dungeon, praising their unique worldviews in the RPG genre and suggesting they are titles to watch for future releases. This marks a significant move for Compile, bringing their flagship puzzle series and potential other projects to Sega's latest console. The game is listed as a competitive action puzzle game for 12 players, scheduled for a March '99 release. This page delves deeper into the upcoming Puyo Puyo 4 for the Dreamcast, exploring how it evolves the classic puzzle formula. Building on the previous page's announcement, this section features a Q&A with Compile, revealing significant changes and new elements. The developers highlight the power of the Dreamcast hardware, emphasizing improved color depth, resolution, and memory, leading to significantly enhanced graphics and impressive 3D effects, despite the core gameplay being 2D. Key new features for the 4 include unique special skills for each character and the introduction of support characters who assist the player. While the fundamental gameplay remains familiar, the presentation is getting a vibrant overhaul, with colorful designs adjusted for a slightly older audience, according to the team. They are also considering various modes, including those centered around pulling off massive chains. The story mode will be different from past iterations, focusing on a narrative that unfolds as protagonist Arle Naja journeys, with familiar characters joining her along the way. And for fans wondering, it's confirmed that Satan is once again behind the trouble. The page also teases public reveals of the latest game footage and events held by Compile. This page delves into the unique simulation RPG 7th Cross for the Dreamcast, published by NEC Home Electronics and released on December 23rd. The core concept revolves around the evolution of organisms. Players must survive and grow by confronting external enemies, hiding from those stronger than them, and preying on the weaker ones. A key element is the manipulation of Dyna. The game features a Drana sheet, a 10x10 grid, where players draw patterns using 6 different colors. These patterns directly influence the organism's basic abilities and the body parts it acquires. Interestingly, submitting the same pattern again later won't necessarily yield the same outcome, as the artificial life form, dubbed Nurquiro, learns and establishes its own rules for genetic evolution. The true objective of 7th Cross is to explore this concept of evolution. Screenshots show both combat sequences against various creatures and the intricate creation interface, including a color palette, the Dyna grid for pattern drawing, and panels displaying body part levels, highlighting the deep customization and biological simulation aspects of the game. This page continues the deep dive into the unique Dreamcast title, 7th Cross. It emphasizes that evolution is the path to victory, achieved by preying on weaker organisms and consuming them to strengthen your own body. Initial forms are weak proto-organisms that must hide and consume microorganisms for survival and experience. Only after reaching the origin stage, a higher-level creature, can true evolution via the Dyna sheet begin. The game's evolution system involves boosting basic abilities and acquiring 4 main types of body parts: head, torso, arms, and legs. There are 30 distinct parts for each category obtainable through the Dyna sheet,
each with specific traits like swimming ability or land speed. The sheer variety of combinations is highlighted, totaling over 810,000 possibilities, allowing players to adapt their creature to the environment. The article praises the faithful 3D modeling based on the original artwork. Examples like desert bone and sea worm are shown, illustrating how initial weak forms can possess surprising features like high attack power or specialized movement. The core message is survival of the fittest through strategic evolution and adaptation. This page features an in-depth interview with the character designer for 7th Cross, Mr. Horisawa, and the producer, Mr. Fukugawa, discussing the unique creature designs in the game. Mr. Horisawa, who has experience in TV animation, was responsible for designing all the creatures, both friend and foe, and was also involved in checking and refining other concept-related graphics. They discussed the design philosophy, aiming for creatures that feel like they've incorporated parts into their bodies, and needing a certain coolness factor to appeal to players, admitting they ended up resembling Kamen Rider monsters a bit. To make the monsters approachable and not overly grotesque, they consciously injected a retro feel, reminiscent of heroes and monsters from their childhood. A significant challenge highlighted was ensuring that the massive number of possible combinations from the body parts, head, torso, arms, legs, looked natural despite the variety. They used natural colors, like earth and wood, to help the parts blend together visually. While parts have levels, they note that intentionally creating unbalanced combinations with high-level and low-level parts is possible and even encouraged, as it reflects the player's individual taste and preference in building their creature. The interview also touches on their previous collaboration on Megami Tensei 2 for the PC FX. This page continues the discussion about 7th Cross, featuring character designer Satoshi Horisawa and Hunex staff, likely producer Takashi Fukugawa. They delve into the technical challenges and design philosophies behind creating the game's unique creatures, emphasizing how important it was to make the combined body parts look natural despite the vast possibilities. Horisawa, a former animator, shares how his background helped bring imagination to the creature designs and smoothly handle the communication needed during development. Fukugawa highlights the visual appeal of the game, pointing out the translucent water effects and the ability for the polygon characters to move and attack freely in 360 degrees, describing their movement as being on par with movie sequences. He emphasizes that players should experience this unprecedented freedom of character control and action. The bottom section showcases 3 distinct creature designs from the game, noted as being designed with clear concepts like plants and insects. The leftmost character, modeled faithfully from Horisawa's original drawings, is highlighted as a high-quality character that moves within the game, not just a static illustration. The middle character is mentioned as a favorite among the development team and boasts considerable strength in the game. These examples illustrate the diverse and imaginative monster designs that are a key feature of 7th Cross. This page provides a preview of the Dreamcast title Pro Yaku Team wo Tsukuru, the next iteration in Sega's baseball simulation series. Players step into the role of a team manager or owner, aiming to build and guide their professional baseball team to success. The game features the series' signature cartoon animal mascots, now enhanced, and boasts significant gameplay improvements over the Saturn version. Key features highlighted include a deepened player development system, with the introduction of a 2-team structure, providing more opportunities for younger players to grow. Strategic depth during games is also increased, offering detailed tactical instructions that players can issue. The ability to flexibly select and develop pitchers specifically for starting, relief, or closing roles is also emphasized. Screenshots show the game's interface, featuring the distinct character designs and elements of gameplay strategy. This Sega sports simulation title was set for a 1999 release, promising an evolved team management and baseball experience on the Dreamcast. This page showcases the next entry in Sega's acclaimed sports simulation series for the Dreamcast, following the baseball management game featured previously. This time, it's the turn of soccer with J-League Pro Soccer Club wo Tsukuru, widely known by its nickname, Sakatsuku. Building on the foundation of the Saturn titles, the Dreamcast version boasts a significant leap forward, most notably in its graphics. The game engine allows for more players to be displayed simultaneously, creating a more immersive matchday experience. Player movements are also highlighted as being significantly improved, aiming for greater realism. The core gameplay revolves around managing every aspect of a J-League club. This includes deep simulation elements such as player development, tactical instructions, and fostering a connection between the club and its local town through various events. A key new feature is the inclusion of the J.League's promotion and relegation system, adding thrilling stakes to every season. Screenshots showcase the game's enhanced visual presentation, including the manager's office, with updated character models and interface, demonstrating the overall power-up from the Saturn version. Scheduled for release in 1999, Saskatsuku on Dreamcast promises a deeper and more visually impressive soccer club management simulation.
This page introduces Seventh Cross for the Dreamcast, a unique creature evolution simulation RPG. Asking the existential questions, what are you? What are you trying to become? Quote, the game utilizes the latest technology, including the Artificial Life System, SOM, to create a world and survival experience centered around evolution, entirely entrusted to the player. The page showcases the game's visuals through several screenshots. These include glimpses of diverse creatures, such as elegant bird-like beings and a powerful humanoid warrior, as well as different environments. A particularly interesting element highlighted is the palette interface, which appears to be a detailed system for creature customization or evolution, allowing players to influence the development of their unique life form. Developed by Atypical Alchemist's Associate and published by NEC Home Electronics, Seventh Cross promises a deep and visually impressive experience pushing the boundaries of the genre on the Dreamcast. This page showcases Sengoku Turb, an intriguing advanced action role-playing adventure for the Dreamcast. The game is described as a cute, surreal, and mysterious world centered around a lonely girl who wanders the universe. A prominent feature highlighted is the cat vs. sheep, 1 million polygon great battle, suggesting a unique conflict at the core of the game. The main artwork features a large, stylized face or creature, conveying the game's distinctive and somewhat strange aesthetic. Several screenshots provide glimpses of the gameplay, showing the game utilizes 3D polygonal graphics, with colorful, character-filled environments, and hints of combat or interaction. Published by NEC Home Electronics and co-developed by Atypical Alchemist Associate and QNEP Company, Limited, Sengoku Turb looks to be a title aiming for a truly unique and quirky experience on the platform, blending action, RPG, and adventure elements in a highly unusual setting. This page features official guidebooks for two highly anticipated SEGA Saturn titles. First up is the guide for Virtua Striker 2, version 98. Priced at 1,200 yen for 96 pages, this is the first official guide for the series, promising complete support for the intense battles against powerful teams. The guide provides a thorough explanation from basic gameplay, introduces the tactical features of all participating countries, with insights from the development team, reveals secret techniques, and includes interviews with the developers, along with introductions to famous world players. The visuals show the game's logo and realistic 3D soccer action on the field. Below that is the official guide for Shining Force 2 Eyes Scenario 3, the concluding chapter of the epic trilogy. This substantial 184-page guide, also priced at 1,200 yen, covers the story's conclusion, which is influenced by the previous two parts and features the return of main characters from all three scenarios, potentially totaling up to 60 individuals. Essential map data up to the final stage is included, along with introductions to the vast cast of characters, locations of hidden items, and details on enemy characters. The artwork for this section showcases the game's logo and a dynamic illustration featuring several of the main characters against a fantasy backdrop, hinting at the rich world and narrative the guide explores. This page features the Reader Contribution Corner weekly bulletin board, where fans share their thoughts and experiences. The entries cover a mix of personal anecdotes, gaming adventures, and reflections. Readers discuss topics ranging from travel and daily life to specific game moments. One contributor talks about finishing all three scenarios of Shining Force 2 and enjoying the interconnected story, while another is eagerly anticipating Virtua Fighter 3. There are also comments related to Nights into Dreams and Chaos Seed. Feng Shui Chronicle, with accompanying illustrations showcasing characters from these beloved Saturn titles. A recurring theme is the passion for SEGA Saturn games and the impact they have on players' lives, whether it's the challenge, the story, or the simple joy of playing. The section also includes a quirky Nostradamus corner, where readers ponder humorous predictions about the future, contrasting the lighthearted tone with the occasional serious-sounding question. Overall, it's a vibrant snapshot of the SEGA Saturn community sharing their thoughts and connecting through their shared love for gaming. This page continues the Saturn Users Plaza,
a space for reader contributions. Here, fans express their thoughts on upcoming hardware, game design, and share humorous submissions. Several letters are featured, including one anticipating the Dreamcast, highlighting excitement for visuals and the potential use of the visual memory unit, and the hope that created characters can be brought into arcades. Another letter stresses the critical importance of strong character design, especially for male protagonists, arguing that a game's success can depend on it. A third reader prefers faithful, complete ports of games over versions padded with minor extras.
A humorous segment. Who the hell are you guys?
Displays silly character ideas submitted by readers, such as a strange round figure and a fake Sonic, treated with playful skepticism.
The rumors
Section compiles user-submitted gossip about various games. These range from potentially accurate tidbits, like speculation about Takarashi appearing in Virtua Fighter 3 TB, to clearly humorous or parody rumors about sequels to games like Enemy Zero or strange new Konami titles. The section acknowledges the wild nature of these fan-created rumors. Finally, the Comic Plaza showcases short manga strips contributed by readers, offering lighthearted, often comedic takes on gaming experiences and SEGA-related themes.
This page continues the reader contribution section, showcasing fan interaction and creativity. The Hall of Fame for Submission Kings highlights top contributors based on points, celebrating consistent participants, and notably welcoming the first female member to the prestigious list this week. A detailed list further breaks down the point standings for numerous other active readers, demonstrating the vibrant community engagement. The Teach Me Show section addresses reader questions covering a variety of topics, from inquiries about past figures or players possibly related to fighting games like Virtua Fighter, to clarifying if two contributors with the same nickname are distinct individuals, and even identifying a specific song lyric from the band Judy and Mary as being from The Great Escape. The Black Soup Screamers Corner presents fan art inspired by various SEGA Saturn titles. Featured illustrations include a fierce depiction of Lao Chan from Virtua Fighter, a playful one-stroke drawing of Sonic the Hedgehog, a character likely from the game Machi, Bulleta, BB Hood from Darkstalkers, Vampire Savior, and Kayama-san from Sakura Wars 2 playing a guitar. Adding to the fun, the Specially These Guys section features more quirky and imaginative character designs submitted by readers, including a bizarre fake Sonic, continuing the humorous theme from the previous page. Overall, the page provides a snapshot of the dedicated and creative SEGA Saturn community, highlighting their passion for the games and their willingness to share their ideas and art. This page continues the reader contributions, filled with fan art and letters from dedicated SEGA Saturn enthusiasts. The Letters Park and Fan Gallery sections showcase creative submissions depicting characters from a wide range of games. You'll find artwork featuring Felicia from Vampire Savior, Sakura from Street Fighter Alpha 2, Marie from Atelier Marie, Fina and Justin from Grandia, Vermilion and other characters from Shining Force 2i, a piece related to Spike Out, Linda from Groove on Fight, characters from Cotton, and what appears to be the protagonist from Princess Crown. The variety of characters highlights the diverse interests of the Saturn community. One reader expresses frustration about their Saturn breaking and contemplating buying another or switching to the upcoming Dreamcast. Looking ahead, the next submission theme is announced. Readers are asked which games they wish to see ported to the Dreamcast. This week's featured submission reflects on the dynamic nature of game development, noting how projects change as they progress. The information section provides detailed rules for submitting artwork and letters, outlining requirements like using black ink on postcards, and the system where points are awarded for contributions, which can then be exchanged for prizes like gift certificates or even SEGA Saturn software. This page showcases two comprehensive strategy guides now available. The first is a guide for a concluding entry in the Super Robot Wars series, featuring an ensemble cast of iconic mechs including Evangelion, Ideon, Gundam, Mazinger Z, Getter Robo, Daytarn 3, and many others, all battling to protect Earth's peace against a powerful enemy. The guide promises a thorough walkthrough of this massive title, delving into the mystery of the mastermind behind the events. This full-color guide is packed with 296 pages, priced at 1,400 yen. The second guide covers Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Greed. Featured prominently is the enigmatic figure of Char Aznable. This guide is designed to help players navigate the strategic depth of the game, offering clear strategies using maps, introductions to numerous in-game events and characters,
a complete list and development conditions for weapons, and details on playing through the game as any of the 3 main forces. It also includes an introduction to 3 hidden modes and covers the conditions required to trigger events. This guide contains 168 pages and is priced at 1,200 yen. Both guides are essential resources for tackling these challenging and popular strategy games. This page features an essay titled, "Story of a Boy and Girl at the End of the 20th Century," specifically focusing on the difficulty of relating to others. A prominent subtitle highlights the author's deep desire to be praised by their father as the driving force in their life. The text delves into the author's personal struggles with social interaction, feeling unable to connect well with others, including peers. It touches on themes of seeking external validation, particularly from family, and the challenges of navigating personal relationships and self-discovery. A note on the page also discusses the idea of using education or work connections as a starting point for finding oneself, even if things don't go as planned. The page includes a photograph of a young girl sitting in front of arcade machines. However, a caption explicitly states that this photo is not related to the content of the essay. The essay appears to be a reflective piece on personal development and social anxieties rather than a commentary on gaming itself. This page features volume 11 of the Weekly Saturn Times from October 23, 1998. One prominent column is titled, "Go to a lewd shop and communicate with girls," quote, which seems to offer a provocative or potentially humorous take on interacting with women in specific establishments, illustrated by Suzuki Miso, depicting someone being pulled into a hostess club. Another section delves into deep otaku culture, with this installment exploring a concept titled Exhaust Gas Sexual Harassment Employment. This column, featuring a distinctive and somewhat abstract illustration by Mashino Henmaru, an octopus girl, which the artist suggests was a toned-down version of the original idea due to embarrassment, appears to discuss a very niche or perhaps inside joke topic within specific subcultures. Finally, a small blurb titled Saturn is Here highlights manga artist Junko Mizuno's fondness for the Sega Saturn. It also mentions her particular love for Michael Jackson's Moonwalker on the Genesis/Mega Drive, marking her as a notable figure in both manga and gaming. This page offers a mix of provocative social commentary, exploration of niche cultural topics, and a brief but appreciated nod to the Sega Saturn by a well-known artist. This page features the 36th installment of the illustrated column Hana Saturn Ningen, created by Hanakuma Yusaku. The comic explores everyday life with a touch of commentary. In the left panel, a conversation unfolds within a family. Parents are encouraging their son to go to school, asking when he'll start. The son replies that he's going from today. Later, he's shown intently playing a game, with accompanying sound effects like Pico Pico. Another adult comments that, even though it's small, it's a step forward, asking if small things count. The mother acknowledges that his obsession is only within the game world, not at school. The right panel shifts focus to the outside world, depicting train tracks and commuters. One character exclaims, "Real, huh?" and another says, "Yeah, interesting." The dialogue then references the game Densha de Go, noting that groping, chikan, is probably a part of riding trains, which is more real, according to one character. Another remark is made about an old guy, Oyaji. The panel shows students and an adult by a train platform, with sounds like gatan gatan, train sounds, and nia nia, snickering. Overall, the page contrasts the world of gaming, specifically mentioning Densha de Go, with the realities of commuting and school life, adding a bit of dark humor about train experiences. The bottom text notes that Hanakuma Yusaku is from Tokyo and has a book coming out. Volume 26 of Tomoe Sakurai's Message to the Heart reflects on her 27th birthday. She enjoyed a fan event, receiving many gifts and messages, which she cherishes. She muses on aging and the speed of time, wishing she had valued her youth more. She's determined to make her 27th year a good one. This section is accompanied by an illustration. An info box provides background on Tomoe Sakurai, detailing her career as a versatile artist, including her first self-produced album. The accompanying manga by Izumi Takemoto, Takemoto Izumi's Various Notes Volume 26, focuses on moving. It humorously depicts closet organization, rediscovering nostalgic items, and visiting a unique house for inspiration. The manga also touches on aspects of the new home. This page features a deep dive into the visual novel game Machi, Unmei no Kusaten, highlighting its impact and community engagement. The main feature discusses fans' favorite bad endings from the game, with players sharing memorable, often humorous moments tied to characters like Hakiyama, Ryunosuke, Masashi Shinoda, and Aomushi, often referencing specific in-game times and events. There's a fun section recreating a scene from the game titled Leaving on Thursday, with a photo showing the real-world location. The page also presents the midterm results of a popularity poll for the game's characters, listing the top 10, including fan favorites like Keima Amemiya, Ryuji Takamine, and Masashi Shinoda. The staff members in charge of the Machi feature, known as the Machi Baka, share their thoughts. The editor notes the game's significant influence, while the writer Tetsu expresses his fondness for a specific character's scenario. A special project is announced for October 11th, a walking tour in Shibuya, visiting real-world locations featured in the game, complete with a map highlighting key spots like the Nanpei Underground and Shibuya Public Hall. Finally, there's a This Week's Tip, giving a hint related to Masashi Shinoda on a specific date and time within the game's timeline, accompanied by an illustration. The page concludes by listing various community-driven topics found on the game's bulletin board, covering everything from character details to sequel predictions. This page dives into the world of game music composer Noriyuki Iwadare, this time focusing on the mastering process for the Langrisser vs. Original soundtrack. Iwadare details the work done at Tokyo CD Center on September 17th, explaining that mastering involves final sound adjustments, level balancing, track ordering, adding pauses, and removing noise to prepare the album for release. He mentions working with mastering engineer Hashimoto-san, who also previously handled Langrisser Crids. The album features all the music from the game and is set for release on October 24th. Iwadare also briefly touches on another project, recording for the Tokyo Disneyland Christmas Parade, which was happening concurrently. The page features a This Week's CD spotlighting Soy Milk Volume 1, an omnibus album featuring various indie artists like Super Junkie Monkey, Space Combine, Jack Badra, Seameal, Spanum, and Sunking. It's presented as a collection of powerful sounds from the indie scene. Finally, there's an equipment introduction, highlighting the Yamaha NS 10 monitor speakers, a studio standard known for their reliable sound for mixing and mastering. Photos show Iwadare and others in a studio environment, seemingly during the mastering session, and a close-up of the featured speakers. This page presents a selection from the official guide series. First up is the official guide for Dragon Force 2, a popular simulation RPG on the SEGA Saturn. This guide provides thorough strategy coverage, explaining the battle system, political commands like formation and scouting, character-specific events, and includes comprehensive character and item lists, plus details on item synthesis. It's 144 pages long and priced at 1,200 yen. Next, the official guide for Shining Force 2i Scenario 1 is featured. Essential for tackling this simulation RPG, it includes complete map data up to the final stage, covers hidden item locations, introduces enemies, and focuses heavily on providing crucial game data. This 144-page guide costs 950 yen. Finally, we see the official guide for the SEGA Saturn version of Multilance. It provides a detailed look at the changes in the Saturn release, including updates to the battle system and added events. The guide also features voice actor interviews and even includes special original trading cards and signed artwork presents, making it a must-have for fans. This full-color guide is 112 pages and priced at 1,400 yen. These guides are published by SoftBank. This page presents a comprehensive database of SEGA Saturn software released between November 22, 1994 and October 8, 1998. It's a valuable reference for checking the extensive library of titles available during this period. The core of the page is a large table listing games by release date, including key details such as the game title, publisher, price, genre, and review scores. Uniquely, it provides both average scores from reader polls and review scores from the magazine's own judging panel. Scores are marked with a dash if there isn't enough data yet, particularly for reader feedback. The table covers a broad spectrum of genres, from action-packed fighters like Virtua Fighter and Virtua Fighter Remix, to RPGs, strategy games, and puzzle titles like Myst and D. It's a straightforward databank, providing quick facts and review scores at a glance for a significant portion of the console's lifespan. This page continues the extensive database of SEGA Saturn software, cataloging releases, and their reception. It presents a comprehensive list of games, detailing their release date, title, developer, price, genre, and, importantly, both reader review averages and the magazine's own review panel scores. We see titles like the critically acclaimed Virtua Fighter 2, NBA Jam, and SimCity 2000 listed alongside more unique Japanese releases like Metal Fighter Miku and Idol Suzume Tsuchipai Remix. The scores provide a snapshot of how these games were received by both the magazine's experts and the Saturn community. The genre diversity is evident, covering everything from fighting games and sports simulations to adventure titles and puzzle games like Myst and Magical Drop. This database is a fantastic resource for tracking the Saturn's diverse library and understanding which titles resonated with players and reviewers at the time.
This page continues the extensive SEGA Saturn software databank, providing a detailed look at games released primarily in March and April of 1996. It lists titles with their developers, genres, and, critically, both reader average scores and the magazine's own review panel scores, offering a dual perspective on game reception. The database showcases a wide variety of genres, from fighting games like Darkstalkers and the King of Fighters 95, action titles such as Alone in the Dark 2, Gradius Deluxe Pack, Snatcher, and Mega Man X3, to simulations, RPGs, and numerous table games including mahjong and puzzle titles. It features international hits alongside unique Japanese releases, providing a comprehensive record of the Saturn's diverse library during this period. The scores presented offer valuable insight into which games were favored by the console's dedicated player base and the magazine's experts at the time. This page continues the comprehensive SEGA Saturn software databank, cataloging games released primarily from July through October of 1996. It maintains the detailed format, listing titles, developers, genres, prices, and, crucially, both the reader average scores and the magazine's expert panel scores, offering a robust picture of each game's reception at the time. This section of the database features some absolute must-play classics for the system. You'll find entries for iconic games like Nights into Dreams, which received exceptionally high marks from both readers and the magazine, alongside other fan favorites such as Saturn Bomberman, Fighting Vipers, Street Fighter Alpha 2, Sega Rally Championship, and the beloved Sakura Wars. The list also includes titles spanning genres from arcade ports like Strikers 1945 and Real Bout Fatal Fury, to unique Saturn experiences like Aquazone and Clockwork Knight, as well as sports games and various puzzle and simulation titles. Examining the scores reveals which games truly resonated with players and critics during this busy release period. This page continues the extensive SEGA Saturn software databank, presenting information on games released primarily in late 1996, with a focus on the November releases as indicated by a section header. The database maintains its detailed format, providing key information for each entry, including the game title, genre, publisher, price, average reader score, and the magazine staff's review score, along with notes on peripheral compatibility. You'll find entries here for some absolute gems from the Saturn's library. Standouts with high review scores include the fantastic crossover Fighters Megamix, the arcade perfect light gun shooter Virtua Cop 2, the stellar Street Fighter Alpha 2, the intense shoot-'em-up Sengoku Blade, and the classic strategy RPG Tactics Ogre. The list also covers a wide variety of other genres, from the tactical gameplay of Shining the Holy Ark, to the unique experience of the Aquazone simulation series, and the quirky Sexy Parodius. It even includes the infamous Death Crimson, known for its notoriously low scores. The entries also note compatibility with peripherals, like the mouse, light gun, or RAM cartridge, giving insight into how these games were best experienced. This page continues the extensive SEGA Saturn software databank, detailing releases from January through April of 1997. It provides the usual breakdown of game title, publisher, price, genre, reader, and staff review scores, and any special peripheral compatibility. The entries here include some highly regarded titles like the classic puzzle game Puyo Puyo Sun, the action-packed Mighty Hits, and the solid strategy RPG Shining Force 2i Scenario 1. You'll also find entries for titles spanning various genres, from racing games like Tourist Trophy to adventure titles like Planet Joker and numerous simulation and sports games. It's interesting to see the scores reflect the varied reception of these titles, with some achieving high marks while others fall into more average territory. The databank continues to be an invaluable resource for keeping track of the diverse Saturn library during this busy period. This page continues the comprehensive SEGA Saturn software databank,
detailing game releases across May, June, and July of 1997. It provides the essential information for each title: release date, publisher, price, genre, reader and staff review scores, and notes on peripheral compatibility. During this mid-1997 period, the Saturn saw a diverse range of releases. We see notable strategy titles like Command & Conquer and Civilization, alongside popular fighting games such as Virtua Fighter 2 and Groove on Fight, the latter supporting the expansion RAM for enhanced performance. The databank lists highly rated shooters like Galactic Attack, Shin Ryu, and Thunder Force V, which often garnered strong scores from both readers and staff. Puzzle classics like Puyo Puyo 2 and Magical Drop 2i are also featured with positive reception. Even iconic titles like Doom and the Christmas Nights demo make appearances. The scores presented offer insight into how these games were received by the Japanese audience and the magazine's critics at the time, showcasing a mix of highly acclaimed hits and more niche titles spanning genres from RPGs like Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, to sports games and adventures. The next page continues the extensive SEGA Saturn software databank, moving into the latter half of 1997, specifically covering releases from August, September, and October. This detailed table again provides crucial information for each game, including its release date, the publisher, price, genre, reader and staff review scores, and notes on compatible peripherals like the expansion RAM. These months saw a strong lineup hitting the Saturn. August brought us titles such as the intense shooter Terra Cresta 3D, the fighting game Night Warriors, Darkstalkers Revenge, and the highly regarded Mobile Suit Gundam side story, The Blue Destiny. September featured unique games like Silhouette Mirage and the strategy title Sangokushi IV with Power-Up Kit. October was particularly packed with heavy hitters like the legendary bullet hell shooter Dodonpachi, Street Fighter Collection bundling some classic fighting action, and the massive strategy RPG Super Robot Wars F. The scores included offer a glimpse into the reception of these diverse titles by the Japanese audience and the magazine's reviewers at the time. This page continues the comprehensive SEGA Saturn software databank, covering releases primarily from late 1997 through early 1998. It picks up where the previous page left off, offering crucial details like release dates, genres, and review scores from both readers and the magazine staff. We see entries for games released in October and November 1997, leading into December 1997 and January 1998. Highlights from this period include the adventure game Grandia, the intense shooter Radiant Silvergun, and Shining Force 2i Scenario 1, the first part of the tactical RPG trilogy. Also featured are fighting games like X-Men vs. Street Fighter, puzzle games like Baku Baku Animal, and simulation titles. The scores continue to show a range of reception, with some highly traded titles earning strong reader and staff scores, while others receive more mixed reviews. This databank serves as a valuable historical record, reflecting the diverse lineup of games available on the Saturn during its later years, and providing insight into how they were received by the Japanese market. This page continues the extensive software databank for the SEGA Saturn, pushing further into the console's later years, primarily covering releases from December 1997 through May 1998. It lays out the essential details for each title, including its manufacturer, price, genre, and crucially, the average scores from both readers and the magazine's staff. Among the notable releases featured here are the arcade port of The House of the Dead, the second installment of the highly regarded tactical RPG series, Sakura Wars 2, Thou Shalt Not Die, and the popular 2D fighter, The King of Fighters, 97. We also see the acclaimed puzzle adventure Riven, the sequel to Myst, the intense mech combat of Gungriffon 2, and the dark dungeon crawler Baroque. The scores presented offer valuable insight into how these games were received by the Japanese audience and the magazine's experts. Sakura Wars 2 stands out with exceptionally high scores, reflecting its immense popularity. Other titles like The House of the Dead, The King of Fighters 97, and Vampire Savior also garnered strong reviews, showcasing the quality lineup available during this period. This comprehensive list serves as a vital record for understanding the Saturn's library and its reception in the market. This page continues the comprehensive databank for the SEGA Saturn software library, focusing on releases primarily from mid-1998. It showcases a diverse range of genres, from intense shooters and strategic RPGs to adventure games and dating simulations, providing reader and staff scores for each title. Among the many games listed, several highly regarded titles stand out. The legendary shooter Radiant Silvergun receives incredibly high scores, reflecting its status as a Saturn masterpiece. Other notable entries include Lunar 2, Eternal Blue, Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, Linda Cube Complete, and Grandia Digital Museum, all earning significant praise and high scores from either readers, staff, or both. The page also features other fan favorites and noteworthy releases such as Soul Divide, Metal Black, Bulk Slash, Black Slash Matrix, and Shining Force 2i Scenario 3.
Hyuheki no Jishinkyu.
The scores highlight the varied reception of these titles, offering insight into the Japanese market's preferences during this era. The list demonstrates the continued strong lineup of games released for the system well into its later years. There's also a mention of a data disc for Mobile Suit Gundam.
Gihrun's ambition, necessary for accessing special content within that game. This page is a reader questionnaire postcard from the magazine, designed to gather feedback on various topics, including reader demographics, gaming habits, and opinions on the magazine's content and future releases. It asks readers about their gender, age, and occupation, as well as how many SEGA Saturn games they currently own. The questionnaire probes deeper into their reading habits, asking which computer and gaming magazines they read frequently, and how often they send in postcards like this one. It also asks if they attended the Tokyo Game Show. A key part of the feedback seeks opinions on the current issue, asking readers to list the articles they found most interesting and least interesting, referencing a provided list of articles, Table 1. Furthermore, the magazine wants to understand future purchasing intentions. Readers are asked to indicate which hardware they plan to buy from a list, Table 2, and which SEGA Saturn and Dreamcast software titles they plan to purchase, referencing extensive lists of games, Table 3 for Saturn, Table 4 for Dreamcast. This valuable feedback would inform future editorial decisions and provide insights into the market interest for upcoming games on both platforms. This page announces an exciting campaign celebrating the milestone of the SEGA official series of strategy guides from SoftBank, surpassing 2.5 million copies sold. The promotion invites fans to purchase eligible SEGA official strategy guides for a chance to win prizes. The top prize is the unique Atsumete Godzilla, Gathered Godzilla, handheld digital pet game, with 100 units available. Other prizes include Puyo Puyo and Madu Monogatari card collection sets featuring characters like Arle Naja, Satan, and Rulyu, 50 winners, and special commemorative telephone cards, 1,000 winners. The campaign runs from September through November of '98. To enter, you just need to purchase one of the target strategy guides released during this period. These include guides for fan-favorite titles such as Denu Senki, Virtualon Oratorio Tangram, Sakura Wars 2, Shining Force 2i Scenario 3, Virtua Striker 2 Ver 98, and J-League Pro Soccer Club Wo Tsukuru 2. It's a great chance to pick up a guide for a top-tier Saturn game and potentially score some cool merchandise.
This page features an advertisement for Victor JVC's release of Falcom Classics 2 on the SEGA Saturn, arriving on October 29, 1998. This compilation follows the first Falcom Classics and brings two more beloved titles from Falcom's history to the Saturn, YS2 and Taiyu no Shinden Azteca 2, as the sequel to the original YS, which was included in the first Falcom Classics. YS2 concludes Adol Kristen's story in Asteria, renowned for its engaging narrative and memorable characters. Taiyu no Shinden Azteca 2 is an adventure game utilizing an icon system, featuring beautiful CG artwork. The Saturn versions of these classics have been significantly enhanced. Both graphics and BGM have been completely remade to take full advantage of the Saturn's capabilities, while preserving the original feel. Notably, YS2 receives animated movies for its opening and ending sequences, and voice acting has been added to in-game event conversations, promising a more immersive and emotional experience. The game is available in two versions: a premium limited edition including a soundtrack CD and exclusive digital extras for 6,500 yen, and a standard special edition for 5,800 yen. This is clearly a release aimed at both longtime Falcom fans looking for enhanced versions and new players discovering these classic RPGs.
This page is a striking advertisement for Falcom Classics 2, now available on the SEGA Saturn as part of the Budget Saturn Collection series. The main illustration features Adol Kristen,
the protagonist of the YS series, lying face down on the grass while a female character, likely from the same series, stands over him, evoking the emotional depth these games are known for. The large vertical text along the side reads, "I wanted to see you, just one more time." Adding to this nostalgic feel, the ad highlights that this compilation brings more of Falcom's popular RPGs to the Saturn. As an interesting bonus feature, players who have save data from the first Falcom Classics, which included YSI, can load it into Falcom Classics 2. Doing so unlocks voiced events within the game, enhancing the experience and making it, as the ad states, absolutely unmissable for fans. There's also a promotional contest offering a chance to win an original YS character telephone card by sending in a postcard by the end of 1998. The page also displays the box art for the original Falcom Classics. This page details the Sega presence at the autumn 1998 Tokyo Game Show, with a strong focus on the upcoming Dreamcast console. It highlights that the Sega booth will feature most of the Dreamcast titles being shown at the event, including those from licensed developers. The article urges readers to visit the Sega booth first to get all the game information they're curious about. The page includes a visual map of the Sega booth layout, showing various demo corners like SEGA Saturn titles, the new Dreamcast hardware, D2, Pen Pen Triathlon, and Godzilla Generations, along with the main stage. Beyond Sega, other exhibitors are showcasing DC titles, such as Capcom with their arcade fighter Power Stone, UBI Soft presenting Rayman 2 and Speedbusters, and Compile bringing Puyo Puyo to the new hardware. The SNK booth is also mentioned, indicating a connection with the Dreamcast alongside their Neo Geo Pocket lineup. The stage event schedule promises lots of action, including talk shows, game tournaments for titles like Virtual on Oratorio Tangram and Pen Pen, and appearances by key figures like Sega's managing director Yukawa Senmu and famous rally driver Mr. Fujimoto. The event culminates in a Sega finale talk show featuring prominent creators from Sega, Capcom, Red, and Warp, discussing their expectations for Dreamcast. There are also notes about special Pen Pen character goods distributions at the show. The Tokyo Game Show 98 coverage continues, spotlighting upcoming Dreamcast games. 3 titles are previewed. First, D2, an action RPG by Warp, concludes the Laura trilogy. Set in a snowy environment, it offers action-oriented combat and vehicle sections. A video demo is available, alongside a playable PC version of Enemy Zero. Next, July, a cinematic adventure from 45, boasts realistic graphics and a deep story, exploring genetics, religion, and values through 2 protagonists. Finally, Climactic Landers by Climax is an RPG with random dungeons and familiar characters. It provides accessible gameplay with reduced action, appealing to RPG fans. The show allows hands-on experience with these games. This page continues the Tokyo Game Show 98 coverage, showcasing more upcoming Dreamcast titles. First up is Kita-Hi, White Illumination, a travel communication game from Hudson Soft. This visual novel puts you in the shoes of a high school student on a summer trip to Hokkaido, interacting with 8 different girls and exploring themes of finding someone you like. The page highlights an event at the Sega booth, with the game's original creator and illustrator discussing the project. Next is Elemental Gimmick Gear, an action RPG also from Hudson Soft. Set in ancient ruins unearthed after 5,000 years, the game features a protagonist who has been asleep for millennia, exploring the secrets of the ruins. Gameplay blends 2D and 3D perspectives, focusing on solving traps and engaging in battles. A special TGS video reel showcases the game's CG movies, detailed maps, and 3D combat visuals. Finally, Sega presents Godzilla Generations. This action title lets players take control of various incarnations of Godzilla, including the Heisei era and USA Godzilla, and unleash destruction across Japanese cities, with the ultimate goal of reaching Tokyo. The page also teases a surprising announcement at the show related to collecting monsters using a Gathering Godzilla item, suggesting a unique interactive experience at the Sega booth. The Tokyo Game Show 98 Dreamcast coverage continues, showcasing several upcoming titles. Pen Pen Tricelon, an action racing game, features humorous animal characters in land, swimming, and ice races. Sengoku Turb, an action RPG by NEC Home Electronics, is set in a world of warring cats and sheep, with the player controlling a newly appointed commander. A new character reveal was teased. Chohamaru Golf by Sega offers easy-to-learn golf, with a My Club system and VM unit support. Lastly, Monaco Grand Prix Racing Simulation 2, from Ubisoft Entertainment, delivers a realistic F1 simulation, with detailed customization and a playable demo, highlighting its impressive graphics. This page continues the Tokyo Game Show '98 coverage for the Sega Dreamcast, featuring 4 more exciting games. First is Mercurius Pretty, a fairy-raising simulation game by NEC Interchannel. As an alchemist, you raise an artificial life form called a homunculus, focusing on communication beyond just raising parameters. The game's fantasy setting and unique approach are highlighted. The major draw showcased is the stunning graphics, proving Dreamcast's capability in 2D visuals. Next is Monster Breed, also from NEC Interchannel. This is a simulation game where the goal is to raise monsters and become a top breeder. It incorporates RPG elements like quests and tournaments, with potential for trading and breeding. While not playable at the show, the powerful 3D battle visuals, compatible with the VM unit, are a definite highlight. Following that is Rayman 2, Tentative, from Ubisoft. The popular action platformer series makes its debut on Dreamcast, with powered-up, beautiful graphics and smooth character movement. Rayman's varied actions like running, jumping, and swimming are abundant. Having evolved from a 2D side-scroller to 3D, the game promises enhanced gameplay as Rayman battles pirates to rescue friends. Finally, there's Speed Busters, another Ubisoft title. This is a race game focused on speed, featuring unique customizable cars racing on diverse and beautiful courses. The action-packed car chases, featuring everything from classic 50s cars to modern sports cars, are highlighted as a thrilling visual experience available to see at the show. 2 official books for the SEGA Saturn games Sakura Wars 2, Thou Shalt Not Die, are advertised. The first is the Sakura Wars 2 Thorough Strategy Guide, 464 pages, 1,800 yen. A comprehensive, full-color guide offering character strategies, battle tactics, and a story digest. It's designed for in-depth exploration of the game. The second book, Sakura Wars 2 Original Art and Design Materials Collection, 160 pages, 2,000 yen, is a larger format book showcasing the game's artistic design. It features original character art, mech designs, CG artwork, and interviews. It also includes a poster and papercraft model of the Grand Imperial Theater, making it a collector's item for fans of the game's world and art. Both books cater to dedicated fans of this classic Saturn title. This page continues the magazine's focus on the upcoming Dreamcast console, with the Dreamcast Now column, exploring various aspects of the new hardware. It features reader-submitted pixel art for the visual memory unit, showcasing Kana Kirishima from Sakura Wars rendered in the unit's distinctive 48 by 32 pixel style. A significant part of the page is the Reader's Choice Top 20 list, ranking the developers readers most want to see make games for the Dreamcast, with prominent names like Square, Namco, GameArts, and Enix making the top spots. A major announcement celebrated here is Imagineer's decision to join Dreamcast development. The page highlights their history as a publisher of various games, including localizations and their Imadio brand. A section discusses the technical similarities between Sega's Naomi arcade board and the Dreamcast, using a screenshot from Dead or Alive 2 to illustrate the potential for high-quality ports. There are also reader comments expressing excitement for specific titles or developers on the new platform. Finally, the page includes a list of 20 Sega Saturn titles released or upcoming, covering a range of genres, and a small featurette on the strategy game Pacific Storm 2. Imagineer's PR representative provides a comment expressing enthusiasm for developing on Dreamcast, specifically mentioning their title, Incoming, and its impressive graphics. This page dives deeper into the exciting possibilities of the Dreamcast, revealing a surprising venture. A high-end karaoke machine named DreamSong, built upon the console's powerful hardware. The article highlights DreamSong's unveiling at the '98 Karaoke Festa, showcasing its advanced features, including interactive elements using the visual memory unit, and the adoption of the DVD format for enhanced video and audio quality. Photos from the event show attendees enjoying the system. An interview with Sega Music Networks discusses the strategy behind DreamSong, positioning it as a response to the evolving karaoke market and aiming for the top spot. They emphasize the Dreamcast's capability as the ideal platform and hint at future integration between the karaoke experience and traditional gaming, further expanding the console's potential beyond just software titles. This demonstrates Sega's ambition to leverage the Dreamcast's power for diverse entertainment purposes.
This page serves as a comprehensive index, titled SEGA Saturn Press, highlighting the latest news and hot software for the SEGA Saturn. It's essentially the magazine's table of contents, giving you a roadmap to the features within. The special report section kicks things off, promising unmissable coverage and highly anticipated new releases, including features on Sakura Wars, the unique Sagata Sanshiro, Shinken Yugi, the crossover fighter Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, and Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 3. Following this is Coming Soon Soft, teasing upcoming titles like the Sega Ages series, Classic Disney Adventures, I Love Mickey Mouse, Fushigi no Oshiro Daibuken, and I Love Donald Duck, Garushia, Ou no Haihao, and the romantic sequel, Zoku Hatsukoi Monogatari, Shugaku Ryoko. The new release title section covers software that has just hit the shelves, featuring games like Yukyu Gensoku Ensemble, Idol Janshi Tsuchipai Mecha Genteiban, likely a special edition, Virtual Mahjong 2, My Fair Lady, and Pro Shinan Mahjong Tsuwamono. Finally, the complete guide section details thorough strategy guides packed with helpful data for dedicated players. This section covers titles such as Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Ambition, Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, Martian Successor Nadesico, The Blank of 3 Years, The Legend of Heroes 1 and 2, Slayers Royal 2, Shining Force 2i, Scenario 3, Dark Savior, and the fast-paced shooter Cotton Boomerang. Taigeki Graph in Sakura Wars, a fan disc for the Sakura Wars series, is set to release in December for 4,800 yen. This disc is a must-have for fans, offering a deep dive into the world with a confirmed 100% completion status. Players can expect mini-games with Flower Division members, including Koi Koi Taisen and Gunman Shogi. A standout feature is the Sleeping Beauty performance, an adventure game hybrid where the player's choices directly impact character roles and casting, greatly increasing replayability. The disc also includes voice actor interviews and setting materials. The article highlights the positive reception of the Tokyo Game Show demo as proof of the game's quality. Screenshots showcase the menu, scenes from the Sleeping Beauty performance, character outfits, minigame screens, and the Sakura Wars booth. Taigeki Graph in Sakura Wars promises a rich collection of interactive content and supplementary materials, making it essential for fans. This page details the contents of the Tokyo Game Show demo version of the Taigeki Graph in Sakura Wars fan disc. The demo featured 3 minigames. First is Maria's minigame, Light Staff, where the goal is to skillfully operate stage lights from high positions, avoiding interference from mysterious black figures that get in the way. Next is Kuran and Kana's minigame, W Target. Set in a dressing room, players must select and catch only the necessary items thrown by Ugami from a flurry of objects. Catching unnecessary items results in a penalty. The text notes that Kana sometimes throws iron scrap and Kuran throws bombs, questioning if they hold a grudge against Ugami. Finally, the demo included Koi Koi Taisen 2, an updated Hanafuda battle game. While the full version features a variety of opponents, the TGS demo specifically allowed players to face off against just Oriheim and Kuran. The page highlights the strategic fun of these card battles. These minigames, along with screenshots showing their gameplay, provided attendees a taste of the varied content included in the upcoming fan disc. This page is the 5th installment of the Sakura Wars fan page, the Taikoku Journal, this time heavily focusing on the character Iris. The opening text welcomes readers and mentions the upcoming game show, hoping to meet fans there, although the writer unfortunately cannot attend the DJ event. The main section is titled Iris and Iris and Iris, and features messages from readers about their love for the character, accompanied by charming illustrations of Iris in various styles. Contributions highlight different aspects fans appreciate, from her cuteness to wanting to cosplay as her, and even a touch of melancholy about her growing up. The illustrations include Iris with her signature teddy bear, in her standard uniform, and in more whimsical settings, showing the strong affection fans have for her. Another small section notes the July birthday trio of Iris, Sumire Kanzaki, and Orihime Soleta, listing their birthdays, celebrating these popular characters. The page is filled with fan art showcasing various characters like Iris, Maria Tachibana, Sumire, Kohranri, Kana Kirishima, Sakura Shinguji, and Orihime. This page serves as a vibrant hub for fans to share their passion and artwork related to the world of Sakura Wars. This page reveals exciting details about Sagata Sanshiro Shinken Yuugi on the SEGA Saturn, a unique variety game starring Sega's iconic commercial character. The game blends live-action footage with game elements, presenting players with a series of 10 challenges led by Sagata Sanshiro himself. It's described as a straightforward action game with an irresistible appeal, urging players to simply jump in and play. Featured mini-games include a rhythm-based challenge where you input commands to make Sagata dance on a giant Saturn, a frantic action segment where Sagata throws combat robots buried in the ground, and even a quirky Christmas-themed game where Sagata acts as Santa, throwing presents into chimneys. The page also serves as a tribute to Sagata Sanshiro, announcing that his role as Sega's commercial personality is concluding with the release of this very game. It highlights the dramatic final commercial, where Sagata confronts a threat involving a bomb and the upcoming Dreamcast console launch, leaving his fate in the player's hands. Photos feature actor Hiroshi Fujioka, who portrays Sagata, thanking him and showcasing the filming of the elaborate final commercial. The game is set to release on October 29th for 4,800 yen. This page continues the look at Sagata Sanshiro Shinken Yuugi for the Sega Saturn, detailing the remaining challenges in Sagata's 10-part test. Here, we see challenges 4 through 10, each a unique minigame embodying Sagata's diverse feats from his legendary commercials. Challenge 4, When You're in Trouble, Use Your Head. Ooh, is a familiar scene of Sagata breaking tiles, requiring precise timing. Challenge 5, Secret Art. This is Dragon God Power. Whoo! Involves spotting Sagata riding dragons. In Challenge 6, I'll Run! My Burning Soul! Whoo! You guide Sagata sliding on ice, pushing for maximum speed. Challenge 7, Wait for Me! I'll definitely save you! Woo! Is an action game where Sagata navigates a burning building. Challenge 8, I Won't Let You Interfere With My Training! Sees Sagata deflecting falling garbage. Challenge 9, Who the Heck Am I? Is a face-matching puzzle. While Challenge 10, Special Training! The Sea is My Battlefield too! Come! Is a column-style puzzle based on sea creatures. A significant bonus mentioned is the ability to unlock and watch the iconic Sagata Sanshiro commercials upon clearing minigames. Several popular ones are highlighted, including those themed after Deep Fear, The House of the Dead, and Sakura Taisen 2. The page frames the game as potentially the last chance to witness Sagata's exploits, tying into the dramatic final commercial narrative. Behind-the-scenes photos of the final commercial filming, showing actor Hiroshi Fujioka performing wire stunts, and storyboard sketches give a glimpse into the production of this memorable send-off. This page features a special report on the highly anticipated fighting game, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter for the Sega Saturn. It's revealed to be a fighting game scheduled for release on October 22nd. The software alone is priced at 5,800 yen, while a bundle including the required 4 MB expansion RAM cartridge costs 7,800 yen. The 4 MB RAM cartridge is mandatory to play the game. The page includes a story summary. The ancient mutant Apocalypse seeks to manipulate the course of human history. To stop him, heroes from the Marvel Comics universe, led by Captain America, and fighters from Street Fighter, including Ryu, gather. Some fight for justice to thwart Apocalypse's ambition, while others seek to eliminate this troublesome presence to achieve their own goals. Against the powerful and evil Apocalypse, the mightiest heroes stand united. The greatest battle in history is about to unfold. Several screenshots showcase the tag team fighting gameplay, featuring characters like Wolverine, Shumagorath, Hulk, Blackheart, Sakura, Mika, and Spider-Man. The text also mentions looking at exclusive elements for the Saturn version, and hidden characters from the arcade release, hinting at further mysteries for the home console port. The game is presented as a major upcoming release, highlighting the clash between these iconic universes. This page delves deeper into the Sega Saturn port of Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, highlighting the console's exclusive features. It confirms the game includes original elements missing from the arcade, like the intense survival mode, where HP barely recovers between fights, emphasizing strategic tagging to let your partner heal. A major improvement is the same character tag feature, now possible for all characters on the Saturn under specific conditions, unlike the limited options in the arcade. To support same character tags, the Saturn version adds 2 new color palettes per character, including unique designs like a completely black Cyclops, or oddly colored Shumagorath and Hulk. Sakura gets special mention for her Alpha series and tanned colors. The game boasts extensive options, from adjustable difficulty and speed to shortcuts. Hidden options are also present,
such as a versus mode, where HP doesn't decrease, and a mode starting with max hyper combo gauge. Screenshots showcase the survival mode against Abyss, various character colors, same character tag action, and highlights the impressive performance, showing multiple Shumagorath sprites on screen with no slowdown. The turbo speed is noted as being incredibly fast, almost level 8, making reactions difficult. The page confirms that characters who were challenging to encounter in arcade CPU battles will appear more readily in the Saturn version. This page details the hidden characters in Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, specifically focusing on the Saturn port. The game features hidden characters from both the Marvel and Street Fighter universes, including Armor Spider-Man, US Agent, and Mephisto from Marvel, and Shadow, Mech-Zangief, Tan Sakura, and Akuma from Capcom. The Marvel characters' origins are explored, referencing their comic book appearances. The page highlights that the CPU battle triggers for hidden characters from the arcade version are also present in the Saturn version. Brief profiles of several characters like Cyclops, Captain America, and Ryu are also included. The article confirms the Saturn port maintains the arcade's diverse and secret character roster. This page delves into the exciting gameplay systems of Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, particularly highlighting the unique mechanics available on the SEGA Saturn. It emphasizes that mastering these systems is key to enjoying the game. The core mechanics discussed are the aerial rave, which lets you launch foes into the air for extended combos, the advancing guard, a defensive technique to push opponents away and break pressure by parrying, and the super jump, providing greatly enhanced vertical movement and freedom to use special moves repeatedly mid-air. The article also teases significant hidden content specific to the Saturn version, confirming the existence of both hidden characters and a new gameplay mode, sparking speculation about whether this includes characters from the PlayStation version of X-Men vs. Street Fighter or potentially a new mechanical character. Additionally, brief profiles are provided for several prominent fighters, including Spider-Man, Omega Red, Shumagorath, Blackheart, Norimaro, Chun-Li, M. Bison, Dalsim, Sakura, and Dan. This page builds anticipation for discovering all the secrets the Saturn port holds. This page officially reveals the title for the third volume in the popular Tokimeki Memorial Drama series, titled Tabidachi no Uta, which translates to Departure Song. The focus of this entry is none other than the iconic heroine from the original game, Fujisaki Shiori. Presented as a youth adventure, this title continues the spin-off series approach of centering on a specific character from the main romance simulation game. Slated for a spring 1999 release from Konami, the game is recommended for all ages, with the price yet to be determined. The story is set around the graduation ceremony at Kirameki High School, known for its legendary tree where confessions are said to lead to eternal happiness. The narrative follows the protagonist as he navigates the final weeks of high school, aiming to convey his feelings to Shiori, but faces unexpected turns. The game promises an engaging story centered on the theme of graduation, featuring upgraded minigames compared to earlier volumes in the series. The artwork showcases Shiori and another character in their school uniforms, capturing the game's nostalgic atmosphere. This page dives further into the upcoming Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 3, titled Departure Song, showcasing a collection of screenshots from the game. These photo clips feature scenes with the main heroine, Fujisaki Shiori, in various high school settings like the classroom and outdoors, along with glimpses of dialogue. We also see shots featuring the protagonist's best friend, Yoshio, and another key character, Haru Tatebayashi, in different locations like a cafe and a park. Big news revealed here is that this game will feature guest appearances from all characters from the original Tokimeki Memorial game, unlike previous drama series volumes that had limited cameos. Additionally, new characters from the drama series like Minori Akitsuki and Rion Mishizaki will make appearances. A unique feature highlighted is the ability to experience and converse with Shiori during her childhood, exploring past memories, and deepening the narrative connection between the characters. What's more, the page confirms that Haru Tatebayashi will have her own dedicated story route and ending in this volume, effectively giving her a near-heroine status. It looks like Konami is adding plenty of content for fans as we head towards graduation. This page highlights a fantastic doubleheader coming to Sega Ages: Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, and Quackshot starring Donald Duck. These are revered action-adventure titles from the Mega Drive era, renowned for their charming Disney characters, and engaging gameplay. The page showcases the classic box art for both games, alongside screenshots displaying the platforming action and vibrant visuals fans remember. The text emphasizes that these are highly regarded early masterpieces from the Mega Drive library, both successfully capturing the essence and appeal of the Disney characters. They are noted as enjoyable action games that many players will find fun.
This Sega Ages release presents both games together as complete ports. It's noted that the enduring quality of these games hasn't faded, and that getting both titles completely ported in one package is a very happy thing for fans. The release details are confirmed. Published by Sega, scheduled for release on October 15th, priced at 4,800 yen, classified as action games, and recommended for all ages. If you haven't played these classics before, this is the perfect opportunity to experience them.
This page expands on the Sega Ages release, providing more detail on the two classic Mega Drive titles included: Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse and Quackshot starring Donald Duck. For Castle of Illusion, the focus is on Mickey's quest to rescue Minnie from the evil witch Mizrabel. The text explains Mickey must gather 7 rainbow gems scattered throughout the treacherous Castle of Illusion. Key gameplay involves Mickey's signature bounce attack and the ability to throw collected items. The descriptions and screenshots showcase the first 2 stages: a vibrant forest filled with obstacles like rolling logs and throwable apples, and a challenging Toyland stage featuring marching soldiers and cunning traps requiring players to find keys. The page then covers Quackshot, detailing Donald Duck's globe-trotting adventure to uncover hidden treasure using a map found in Scrooge McDuck's library. Donald faces a rival gang and utilizes his unique weapon, the plunger gun, to temporarily stun enemies, allowing him to progress. Screenshots highlight diverse locations like America, where Donald interacts with residents and characters, like Goofy for information, a spooky castle in Transylvania where he encounters vampires, and the trap-filled pyramids of Egypt. The overview emphasizes the fun and variety of the challenges in Donald's treasure hunt across the world. This compilation offers fans a chance to enjoy 2 beloved Disney adventures. This page introduces the upcoming Sega Saturn title, Zoku Hatsukoi Monogatari Shugaku Ryoku, a first love-raising simulation. This isn't just a port. It's a renewal of the acclaimed PlayStation version, featuring significant improvements to the game system and enhanced graphics that are noted as being more intense on the Saturn. The game places emphasis not just on who you end up with, but the outcome of your relationship with the heroine you choose. The game features a main character, Hiroya Kanzaki, who can experience love across 3 different generational eras. Notably, his childhood friend, Yuka Takase, serves as a consultant and potential first love partner throughout all eras. Featured on this page are the heroines from the student era. These include Akika Nakayama, an 11-year-old girl who excels at basketball but struggles with swimming; Aina Hashimoto, a 21-year-old university student aiming to become a teacher; and Hazuki Matsubara, a 10-year-old genius student who has difficulty forming friendships due to her father's frequent transfers. The game is slated for a December release from Tokuma Shuten/Intermedia Company, priced at 7,800 yen, and will span 4 discs. An event related to the game was held at the Tim booth, offering a chance to win prizes by purchasing related merchandise. This page continues the character introductions for the upcoming Sega Saturn title, Zoku Hatsukoi Monogatari Shugaku Ryoku, focusing on more heroines from the game's student era. The characters are presented based on what appear to be their school levels within the game. Featured from the junior high school section are Morita Suzuri, an energetic girl popular with boys; Seto Moemi, the shy heroine from the school trip; and Iwa Date Maki, a 17-year-old living in Kyoto who works to support her hospitalized mother, though her age seems high for junior high. The high school section introduces Shima Ayano, a gentle young lady from a wealthy family who lost her parents; Aoyagi Miku, who seems tough but is lonely; and Komaki Toko, a bus guide aged 20, which is an unusual age for high school. Finally, the university/college characters are Muriel Hayasaka, a 14-year-old half-Japanese girl who lives overseas, again with a notably young age for the category; and Takase Naho, the 15-year-old younger sister of Yuka Takase, who attends a different high school and has a complex mix of admiration and jealousy towards Yuka. Each character profile includes details like birth date, age, body measurements, and voice actor, highlighting the diverse cast players will encounter as the game's imminent release approaches. This page dives into the collector's disc, Yume Hisashi Gensukyoku Ensemble, for the popular Yume Hisashi series, rated at 95% completion. Described as packed with the charm of the characters, this disc offers fans a deeper dive into the world. It features content not covered in the main game, such as a great tournament mode with an enhanced fighting system, allowing players to use characters they raised in Yume Hisashi 2. Winnings from the tournament can be used to purchase graphics and other items at the Night Market General Store. The disc also includes unreleased scenarios featuring several characters, like Albert, Rio, Eva, Vanessa, Celise, Tricia, and Laura, allowing players to enjoy new stories. The content highlights the ability to select characters for these scenarios. A side story is also included, focusing on the mysterious masked man Hammett, voiced and expanded upon from the main story. Furthermore, the disc provides character introductions for over 30 characters not featured in the main game, narrated by familiar Yume Hisashi characters. There's also an Enfield tourist guide featuring 5 characters introducing locations like inns and art museums. Finally, a gallery allows players to view purchased graphics and listen to voices. The page emphasizes that this single disc expands the Yume Hisashi world significantly, with various bonus content and stories. This page unveils the details of the Idol Mahjong Player Tsuchipai Super Limited Edition, a special package celebrating the series' 5th anniversary. Rated at 70% completion, this compilation is packed with content, described as a toy box, overflowing with Tsuchipai's charm and a must-buy for fans. The package includes arrangements of 2 previous Mahjong titles and a brand new adventure scenario for Super Real Mahjong Adventure. It also features a free battle mode and a bonus disc containing Miyuyu's Room. The new scenario introduces Meiyu, a mysterious girl who appears as an earthbound spirit, tasking Kyuko and Yukenki with finding a flame-covered garment to prevent a citywide fire. Screenshots show vibrant field maps, school interiors, and a concert stage hinting at new events and music. Adding to the value, the limited edition comes with a gorgeous illustration book featuring over 20 artists contributing their visions of the Tsuchipai world. The page also highlights a new insert song for an in-game concert event and an ending duet song titled Journade, performed by the voice actresses of Kyuko and Yuki. This release promises a wealth of new stories, gameplay modes, and bonus materials for fans. This page features 2 distinct Mahjong titles for the SEGA Saturn. First up is Virtual Mahjong 2 My Fair Lady, rated at 90% completion. This sequel enhances the original, with powered-up graphics and new elements like changing character costumes and character growth. Winning games allows you to view the polygonal girls from various angles, and importantly, you can raise character parameters like charm and intelligence for Aya-chan, with the goal of turning her into a princess. Below that is Pro Shidan Mahjong Tsuomono, coming in at 60% completion. This game puts you up against 16 actual professional Mahjong players, whose habits and characteristics are simulated to provide a highly realistic and challenging experience. The AI is designed to mimic pro-level play, and the game offers various modes, including a conquest mode and a tournament mode. You can also review detailed data from your matches to analyze your performance against the pros. This title focuses on honing your skills against expert opponents. This page showcases 2 interesting publications targeted towards the SEGA Saturn audience. At the top is an advertisement for Catshit 1 Volume 1, a unique war comic by Motofumi Kobayashi. Based on the premise suggested by the title, it appears to feature anthropomorphic rabbits and cats in a military conflict setting, specifically referencing the U.S. Army and Viet Cong. This initial volume is priced at 950 yen before tax. Below that is an anthology titled Web Comics Volume 1. This collection gathers various digital comics that were previously only available for viewing online. It specifically highlights being a collection of CG comics drawn by top professional artists. The contributors mentioned include well-known names such as Kia Asamiya, Tatsuki Ueno, Kamui Fujiwara, Shunji Suzuki, Motofumi Kobayashi, Milk Morizono, and Tsuguo Okazaki, among others. The page indicates there is also a CG art gallery section included. This anthology offers a chance to own these digital works in print form and is priced at 1,200 yen before tax. Both publications are presented by SoftBank Publishing Division. This page provides an in-depth strategy guide for the SEGA Saturn game Mobile Suit Gundam, Girin's Ambition. The guide focuses on helping players overcome difficult challenges, particularly in scenarios inspired by the original Mobile Suit Gundam series. It highlights tackling tough opponents, exemplified by the section Surpass Revel, referencing the iconic Federation commander. A significant portion is dedicated to the smoldering Odessa front, detailing the historical context of the crucial Odessa operation within the Gundam universe, and providing strategies to conquer this scenario in the game. This includes mentioning key figures like Makwav and Revel, and the participation of units like the White Base Team. Furthermore, the page includes a tactical manual section explaining core game mechanics essential for victory. It delves into principles like engaging multiple units against a single enemy, and clarifies the concept of zone of control, ZOC, a fundamental rule in simulation games that significantly impacts unit movement and battlefield control. The page features various screenshots, showcasing the game's strategic map and unit interfaces. This advanced Mobile Suit Gundam Giran's ambition strategy outlines a 4-step Odessa operation conquest. The method avoids direct confrontation by using a decoy force to lure the enemy out. The main force then attacks from a different angle, exploiting the enemy's reaction. Enemy aerial unit's zone of control, ZOC, is used to trap ground forces, isolating them from the base. Once isolated, the main force swiftly defeats the remaining defenders and captures the base. This strategy emphasizes tactical maneuvering, ZOC understanding, and makes key enemy figures vulnerable. A specific decoy tactics section explains protecting your main force. The page also announces a strongest commander contest for the Return of Zeon scenario, judging players by speed and remaining funds. This page provides a strategic guide for Welcome to Pia Carrot 2 on the SEGA Saturn, focusing specifically on building relationships with the characters Jun and Rumi. The article emphasizes that getting closer to these characters, who are described as hidden heroines, often requires talking to them after their part-time shifts at the restaurant. It highlights the importance of specific interactions, like ensuring you speak with Yusuke-san for Rumi's route, and always approaching Jun when the chance arises, as opportunities are rare. The page includes a section discussing Jun's character origin story, noting she was initially planned as a boyish girl, but her design evolved due to the artist, leading to her in-game portrayal as acting like a boy while working. Several key events crucial for Jun's route are detailed, including encounters with a lost child, warehouse work, a revealing scene where her secret is discovered when the protagonist bumps into her changing on August 16th, and an event at an amusement park. Screenshots illustrate these moments, showcasing the game's art and character interactions. Personal data for Jun is also summarized. This guide section for Welcome to Pia Carrot 2 focuses on Rumi Kinoshita, a waitress at the restaurant. Rumi, now more relaxed, is described with her physical attributes and her affection for her brother, the store manager. The route revolves around interacting with Rumi, with specific dates, July 29th, 31, August 2nd, 5, with the store manager being crucial for increasing her affection. August 5th is particularly important. The guide also introduces Tamaran, a non-romanceable fortune teller from another game, present as a playful inclusion. The player's interactions with her are limited to that of a customer. Finally, the guide details random work events, like waitress mistakes and dine-and-dash incidents, which are minor and don't significantly affect the main story, though catching a dine-and-dasher requires good stamina. Screenshots illustrate these interactions. This page features a joint interview and discussion with the PC and Saturn development staff behind the romantic simulation game Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, in commemoration of the Saturn release. The developers delve into the origins and concepts of the series, which centers around working at a family restaurant. They explain how the core idea of having multiple waitress types came about, leading to the decision to offer 3 different choices in the game. Research involves staff actually visiting family restaurants. An interesting anecdote is shared regarding the idol-type uniform in Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, which was ultimately decided by the staff despite the results of a user popularity poll. The page also includes a profile of F&ST Corporation, the developer, noting they are known for various brands like Cocktail Soft and Fairy Tale, with many of their titles ported to the Saturn. Finally, there's a section dedicated to the game With You, a recent romance adventure from Cocktail Soft. It focuses on the protagonist and 2 childhood friends, one more self-assertive and the other with a more caring, slightly nosy personality. The original artist for Welcome to Pia Carrot 2 also contributed to a discussion about this title. The next page continues the in-depth discussion about the SEGA Saturn port of Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, featuring Mr. Toshio Tabeda, producer from NEC Interchannel, and Mr. Akio Onuma, representative director from limited company Stack, who handled the porting. They discussed the challenges of bringing the original PC game to the Saturn, emphasizing the importance of faithfully reproducing the nuance of the source material, despite differences in resolution, and how dots were placed. A significant point raised is the decision to use 2 grids for the Saturn version, which was planned from the start. This was primarily driven by the desire to ensure high-quality voice acting without compromising on data, allowing the full voice content to shine. They also touched upon content adjustments needed for the console release. A profile of limited company stack is included, highlighting their expertise in porting previous interchannel titles, focusing on improvements beyond simple Ishoku porting, such as interface enhancements and optimizing SIDROM access speed. Their backscroll window feature, allowing quick review of past messages, is noted. Another section details Sentimental Graffiti First Window, described as a fan disc or digital art collection utilizing a high-resolution mode. Character illustrations and notes about the artist, Kuki Ayami, are featured. The page also includes a large, vibrant illustration, likely showcasing the high-resolution art capabilities discussed. The next page continues the in-depth interview about the SEGA Saturn version of Welcome to Pia 2, this time focusing squarely on the new heroine exclusive to this port, Tomomomi. The discussion involves key staff members, including Akio Onuma, Inamura, Hashimoto, Toshio Tabeda, and Naokazu Hayashi. They delve into the creative process behind Tomomi, explaining that she was designed to be distinct from the existing cast of 10 main characters. A significant point was the decision to make her a middle schooler, which influenced her visual design and how she interacts within the game's scenario. The development team talks about the challenges and back and forth involved in finalizing her character design and uniform, with particular attention paid to details like the length of her sleeves and the style of her socks. The page includes small images showing different uniform design proposals, highlighting the care put into the character's appearance. There are also notes referencing restaurants like Anna Miller's and Bronze Parrot, known for their distinct uniforms, providing context for the game's setting and design inspirations. The overall tone highlights the effort made to seamlessly integrate Tomomi into the established world and roster of Welcome to Pia
2 for its Saturn release.
This page continues the in-depth discussion surrounding the SEGA Saturn port of Welcome to Pia 2. The interview delves into various aspects of the game's development beyond the new heroine Tomomi, covering character design origins for existing cast members like Yuki and Noriko, whose looks were heavily influenced by the background artist. The staff also reflects on the challenges, particularly highlighting Azusa as the most difficult heroine to write for, due to the complexity and reception of her scenario, which caused significant debate during development. Despite this, they view her integration as a main heroine as a success. Interesting side notes include discussions on specific game elements, such as a scene involving an accidental underage drink, mistaking oolong tea for an oolong highball, and the technical implementation of fast-loading mini-character animations. There's also a playful comment about illustrations ignoring gravity, referencing the dynamic poses and sometimes impossible scenarios, like the image featuring Tomomi surrounded by numerous plush toys and another showing Euron eating mid-air. The developers express pride in the detailed work on the game, from character designs and scenarios down to minor programming and graphical details, encouraging players to fully experience the title.
This page delves into the intricate branching narrative of Martian successor Nadesico, the blank of 3 years on the SEGA Saturn. The game isn't just about making dialogue choices. It emphasizes that the main character's personality, along with the emotional state and compatibility with the various female characters, are crucial factors that significantly influence the story's direction, particularly from the midpoint onwards. The page outlines several key systems that drive these changes. The personality matrix is presented as a rough indicator of the protagonist's overall disposition, with pointer movement affecting narrative paths. More directly, the feeling data screen allows players to monitor the individual girl's feelings towards the protagonist, with arrows indicating how recent choices have impacted their disposition. Building strong compatibility is explicitly stated as necessary to unlock specific private events and reach different story branches and endings. As intimacy grows, the girl's expressions in conversations also visibly change, a visual cue confirming relationship progress. The game encourages replayability, suggesting that seeing all the events and character endings requires multiple playthroughs, recommending players focus on building compatibility with one specific girl during each run. Screenshots showcase the personality matrix, the feeling data screen displaying several key girls,
and examples of character expression changes and specific character root events, like those for Minato, Yukina, and Eureka. This guide section for Martian successor Nadesico, the blank of 3 years, focuses on Scenario 2, the Void of the Legacy, starting on Disc 2. It details the story after Minato's return and the expedition to the Kyokan ruins, quickly leading to the game's climax. The guide stresses the importance of events on Disc 1, particularly the shopping trip, as these choices influence relationships. Scenario 2 highlights key events like Minato's return, the bosun jump explanation, campsite interactions with Yukina, depending on compatibility, and discussions at the Kyokan ruins. The guide emphasizes hot gaze time and virtual room events for relationship development and explains choice selection symbols. Screenshots showcase characters like Minato, Yukina, Izumi, Inais, Tuki, and Yuri Batake in various scenes. The section concludes with a hint of a mysterious event involving Inais. This page delves into the details of Scenario 1, the Void of the Legacy, starting from Disc 2 in Martian successor Nadesico, the blank of 3 years. It highlights how the game's progression from this point is heavily influenced by your compatibility with the female characters. The story typically flows from virtual room events towards the game's climax, but the specific events you encounter in between are determined by your intimacy levels. The guide explains that Disc 2 begins with a virtual room event, detailing choices related to who you enter with and how you respond to Ruri's invitation. It then provides an overview of the events leading up to the climax on New Year's Eve. These events are grouped, including common scenarios involving characters like Izumi, Goat, Prospector, Megumi, via her radio show, and even Uribatake going missing. There are also specific event chains for Eureka, Ruri, and Irina, which feature character interactions, some involving hot gaze moments, or further virtual room experiences. Screenshots illustrate scenes with Goat, Prospector, Izumi, Megumi, and Yuri Batake during these various events, showcasing the diverse situations you'll face depending on your relationship choices. The critical point is that the order and occurrence of these events are dynamically shuffled based on character compatibility. This page serves as a comprehensive guide for navigating Eureka's private events in Martian successor Nadesico, the blank of 3 years to achieve a perfect pattern. Though it warns against getting too carried away, it highlights that Eureka's events are relatively few but critical, especially the virtual room opportunity. The guide details specific event chains, such as Eureka surprising you while you're working, injuring her finger, or appearing to have a fever. Key choices within these events lead to outcomes like hot gaze time or reaching a significant point in your relationship. Screenshots depict these moments, including Eureka's playful reaction, a close-up during a tender scene, and a revealing image after her bath, which is noted as a critical, potentially tempting moment. It explains how Eureka's melancholy event can unlock the special virtual room scenario by selecting a date option. The guide also briefly touches upon the different settings available in the virtual room, beginner, normal, adult, and how they influence character behavior, applying to others besides Eureka as well. It also includes a humorous note about being honest about Eureka's surprisingly bad cooking, which somehow yields a good impression. The presence of Akito, Eureka's fiancé, is emphasized throughout as a factor to consider in your interactions. This page details the path to achieving Ruri Hoshino's perfect pattern in Martian successor Nadesico, the blank of 3 years, focusing on events to gain favor with the seemingly emotionless character. The guide stresses the importance of navigating specific event chains, often triggered in the virtual room, and making the right choices to progress toward the crucial hot gaze time. Key moments covered include being woken up by Ruri, where the polite response, "Thank you for waking me up," is highlighted as the best option, despite her peculiar reactions to other choices. Another significant event involves finding Ruri sleeping next to you, requiring careful selection to avoid disrupting the moment. The guide also describes a tense situation where you must hide with Ruri when Prospector comes to the room, leading directly into hot gaze time afterwards. An event after Ruri returns from a bath is also mentioned as an important step. The section on the cosplay event in the virtual room notes, it's a one-time chance to interact with Ruri in this setting. While you can be rejected initially, choosing Akito first can sometimes lead to being paired with Ruri. The different character settings available in the virtual room, beginner, normal, and adult, are illustrated with screenshots showing Ruri in a wheelchair, in a medical room, and sitting in a different pose, indicating varied scenarios and interactions depending on the selected setting. Successfully navigating these events brings you closer to completing Ruri's scenario. This guide focuses on Irina's route in Martian Successor Nadesico, the blank of 3 years. Interactions with Irina are sparse, particularly on Disc 1, making each encounter vital. Successful choices lead to her early appearance on Disc 2 and trigger related events. Key events include Irina forgetting her wallet on the rooftop, the hot gaze time, choice in the rain, and choosing her during Eureka's melancholy to boost affection. 2 virtual room events heavily impact Irina's closeness. Choices in beginner, normal, and adult settings affect her personality and compatibility. The guide recommends the top 2 options. Finally, a critical event involves a drunken Irina leaving a bar, where following her is crucial for progression. Screenshots highlight Irina in various poses, emphasizing the importance of these choices in shaping her story. This page dives into a strategy guide for the SEGA Saturn port of The Legend of Heroes I and II, specifically focusing on the second game in the collection. It highlights useful tips for navigating the world of Legend of Heroes II, which features both underground and surface locations. The guide suggests that experience from the first game is beneficial, particularly for the early chapters. Key gameplay advice includes adjusting character movement speed to easily avoid enemies, and making frequent use of the Warp Wings item, which, unlike in the first game, is not consumed upon use, allowing for much smoother travel. The guide also explains the new magic system in 2, which uses a capsule recovery method instead of MP, recommending that magic-focused characters prioritize spellcasting. A flowchart section maps out the initial steps of the adventure, detailing locations to visit and actions to take, such as delivering a letter, recruiting companions, and navigating through early obstacles. Screenshots throughout the page illustrate various game maps and menu screens, visually supporting the strategy points. The page concludes with a brief story digest introducing the protagonist, Prince Atlas, and his journey starting 20 years after the events of the first game.
This page continues the detailed strategy guide for The Legend of Heroes 2 on SEGA Saturn, breaking down the early stages of the game into step-by-step flowcharts for Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Chapter 1, titled Opened Wilderness, guides players through obtaining initial equipment in Ludia, meeting key characters like Joseph and Cindy, and navigating locations such as Yolt, Fate, Seedal, the Boar Sea Route, and Bath Soon. It highlights important plot points, like recruiting Flora and Cindy into the party. The summary for Chapter 1 emphasizes the increase in enemy encounters and the importance of purchasing strong equipment for the entire party early on. Chapter 2, Whereabouts of the Heroes, continues the journey by directing players through the East Lake area, Ishuta, Iza, Uishisu, Saapia's Spring, and eventually, Gurostosu Castle. Key events include obtaining items like the King Mushroom, meeting characters like Irija and Nerissa, and facing the boss Darius. The summary advises players to level up significantly before heading to Ikeza, noting the area is populated with strong monsters. Screenshots throughout the page illustrate character status screens, party formations during battles, and overhead views of various towns and dungeons. The text notes that certain steps, marked with an asterisk in the flowchart, are not strictly necessary for the quickest path through the game. The bottom section provides a brief narrative overview, explaining Atlas's journey to follow his father, who is investigating the appearance of monsters across the world. This guide covers Chapters 3 and 4 of The Legend of Heroes 2. Chapter 3 focuses on reuniting the party and investigating dragon's eggs, leading to exploration of towns like Ishuuta and areas like Lake Sapia. Players will encounter characters, rescue the master, and battle Ganoa. Exploration is more complex than previous chapters. Chapter 4 details the confrontation with the Ruler of Darkness, requiring party reinforcement in Uishisu, infiltrating Gurostosu Castle, battling bosses like Flad and Dickens, and freeing Bellon. Players will explore areas like Weil and the Trial Cave. Powerful equipment is key, and significant leveling is recommended. The story progresses with the increasing monster presence, linked to dragon's eggs. Atlas and the party seek help, rescue the master, discover underground threats, and ultimately face the Emperor. The guide is supplemented by screenshots. This page opens with a friendly greeting from Flora, setting the tone for the Adventurer's Reference Book for The Legend of Heroes 2. The core content provides crucial late-game preparation, It features extensive lists detailing weapons, items, armor, and shields available to the player. These tables include essential information like price, attack, or defensive power, and descriptions or acquisition methods, vital for gearing up your party effectively. A valuable column section offers strategic advice for surviving the endgame. It discusses how to best develop characters' abilities and provides guidance on appropriate equipment and magic allocation for each party member. It specifically highlights character roles, such as Flora's focus on healing and magic, Landor's balanced approach, Atlas's pure physical power, and Cindy's high attack capability, suggesting optimal gear choices for each based on their strengths. This tactical breakdown, coupled with the detailed equipment lists, is essential for players looking to conquer the challenges in the later chapters, building on the progression discussed in the previous section covering chapters 3 and 4. Note that the equipment data is derived from clearing up to chapter 4, offering a solid benchmark for advanced players. This page features a guide for Slayers Royal 2 on the SEGA Saturn. The focus is on the continuing journey of the main group, the Friendly 4-1, likely referring to Lena, Guri, Amelia, and perhaps Zelgadis, though he's mentioned later. The guide covers events in the town of Dalhouto. It details key plot points, such as the group's return to Dalhouto after exploring the kingdom of Reynard, only to find trouble brewing, specifically regarding Robert's church, which is somehow in ruins. This leads to investigating rumors about sealed towers, apparently scattered around the Reynard kingdom's outskirts. The guide also touches upon character events, like Amelia's specific magical ability, the Iron Fist of Justice, inherited from her father, and the appearance of a mysterious black-hooded man who seems connected to the Sorcerers Guild. There's also a humorous note about the group's love for food. The screenshots show various character dialogues and battle scenes, illustrating the game's adventure RPG format. The page provides insights into specific story beats and gameplay elements players will encounter, highlighting the search for the sealed towers and the unfolding mysteries surrounding them. This Slayers Royal 2 guide focuses on navigating the route to the royal capital, detailing encounters after being chased. The strategy involves traveling through Reynard City, Dalhouto East, and Central Street South. A significant challenge is the battle against Frensburg and 16 monsters in Dalhouto East, which is tactically complex. Players also face the Sorcerer Feagle in Dalhouto East and Central Street South, who can be defeated by focusing attacks on his companions. Defeating Feagle with a specific book grants a new item linked to a mysterious scroll. The guide covers dealing with bandits, including revisiting the pub for information. Combat tips are provided for Frensburg and his living male, recommending specific character abilities. The guide hints at the story's climax, mentioning the Rasman Grass event. It reveals 2 game endings, one triggered by keeping a scroll's contents secret and giving it to Robert. The guide also highlights the possibility of encountering Lark. This page dives into Shining Force 2I Scenario 3, focusing on the Red Slaughter unit and guiding you through a critical part of the story. The narrative is heating up, leading the force under Pendolph towards enemy territory and the mysterious Oral Village, where major revelations await. The guide provides essential details for navigating Oral Village, including a map highlighting key locations like the shops, inns, blacksmith, and places to find valuable items hidden in barrels and chests. It lists items and weapons available for purchase, giving you a heads-up on gear upgrades. Special unique items found in the village, like the Raphael Ankh and Volcanon Wand, are detailed with their stats and effects, crucial for strengthening your team. Enemy data for battles 16 and 17 is also presented, covering various foes like the Bishop, Pawn, Chimera, and Kaiser Knight. It outlines their stats, drops, and tactical tips for defeating them, such as exploiting weaknesses, focusing on specific targets, and utilizing magic and support abilities effectively. It's a solid breakdown to help you prepare for the challenges ahead in the game. This guide covers strategy for 2 key battles in Shining Force 2's Scenario 3. Battle 16, Crossroads, focuses on defeating the Chimera. It provides a map with enemy positions and switch locations critical for pathing and treasure acquisition, including the Mesclun Mace and White Ring. The strategy involves utilizing ranged attacks, manipulating switches, and managing thieves to secure items. Battle 17, Rheinblatt Returns, centers on defeating 2 Rheinblatt units. This battle introduces Jubei, a potential ally requiring survival after interaction. The guide suggests splitting forces for the challenging terrain. Maps are provided. Tactical advice involves protecting Jubi and managing threats like Kaiser Knights and Hydrus. Treasure like the Gaia Axe and Gungnir are available, with specific acquisition tips, even suggesting the value of witnessing Jubei's death scene. Effective team coordination is crucial for success. This page is a strategy guide for Cotton Boomerang. It focuses on two key mechanics: the punch and the hold. The guide explains the various uses of the punch action, which is new to this game. It can be used to directly damage enemies, but more importantly, it can seal certain enemies, temporarily incapacitating them. Weaker enemies can be sealed with a single punch, while larger foes might take two. The punch is also incredibly effective at erasing most enemy bullets, except for lasers, providing crucial defensive capability. Finally, rapid punches can be used to quickly deal damage to bosses and mid-bosses, even allowing for significant health reduction on the final boss right at the start. The page also details the hold mechanic, which is essential for performing smooth chain explosions. After catching an item, pressing the catch button again puts you in a hold state, bringing the item in front of your character. From this state, you gain the ability to throw the held item in any direction you choose, offering tactical flexibility not available when simply catching and releasing. Screenshots throughout the page illustrate these actions with gameplay examples featuring Cotton and Apply. This guide details a high-score strategy for Stage 1 of Cotton Boomerang, emphasizing chain explosions from start to finish. Utilizing wind attribute characters like Cotton or Purple Apply is recommended. The strategy involves initiating chains early by sealing weak enemies and mastering catch-and-throw mechanics. For the mid-boss, chain its fire breath, use sub-weapons, and then seal it. Hitting the sealed mid-boss generates high-scoring items. Accumulate seals before the final boss to build a massive combo. During the boss fight, catch and throw its weapon attacks to neutralize threats. The guide also discusses tea time, highlighting the World Tree Tea for character revival. It mentions a bonus for collecting Uminomi items and dodging projectiles by catching and returning them. This page features a special article on the train driving simulator, Densha de Go X. The main focus is a direct interview with a former professional train driver, Mr. Takashi Matsumoto, exploring the game from the perspective of someone who has actually driven trains for a living. The article delves into how the game measures up to the real experience and answers questions players might have about actual train operations. Mr. Matsumoto, who drove for JNR and Junior for 10 years, provides his insights. The page is illustrated with a portrait of Mr. Matsumoto, alongside real-life photographs of trains and a detailed game screenshot showcasing the in-game interface with speed, time, control levers, and braking information for a Series 221 train. Basic game details are also listed, including Takara as the publisher, the price of 5,800 yen, and its compatibility with a dedicated controller. This piece is positioned as valuable reading for fans looking for professional perspectives on the simulation. Former train driver Takashi Matsumoto, a veteran of Japanese National Railways, shares his insights on the train simulation game, Densha de Go X. With a decade of experience, including memorable routes like the Joetsu and Tohoku lines, Matsumoto highlights the importance of pre-departure checks and prioritizing passenger safety above all else. He enjoyed his career and has no routes he'd actively avoid. He contrasts the game's lightheartedness with the real-world responsibility for passengers' lives. And Matsumoto emphasizes the significance of precise stopping, the absence of a steering wheel, and urges players to always respect railroad crossings. For him, the appeal of being a train driver lies in the immense responsibility. The article promotes the Shinkansen Asama service. Future pages will delve into Matsumoto's gameplay experience. This page continues the interview with former train driver Takashi Matsumoto as he plays Densha de Go X, specifically tackling the challenging snowy Yamanote line scenario. The title translates to, "Let's see the professional driver's operation, Snowy Yamanote line." The main text describes his initial departure feeling relaxed, but quickly facing difficulties due to the snowy conditions. Matsumoto comments on how the braking distance is much harder to judge in the game's snow mode, and how even a professional struggles to stop precisely at the designated spots. He experiences significant sliding, notes that the game's physics are quite unforgiving in this scenario, and highlights the unexpected challenges, even calling it maliciously difficult. He mentions issues at stations like Shinbashi and Yurakucho, sometimes stopping too early and having to re-accelerate. Despite needing 3 continues, he manages to clear the route to Tokyo, receiving a driving score of 59 points. Matsumoto reflects that while it was tough,
The challenge was interesting. The page features photos of Matsumoto playing the game on a console setup, screenshots from the Densha de Go X game showing the snowy Yamanote line route, and real-life photos of trains on the tracks. This page continues the fascinating interview with former train driver Takashi Matsumoto as he tackles the challenging Densha de Go X. The discussion delves deeper into the realism of the simulation, comparing it to his professional experience. Matsumoto demonstrates the proper way to hold the game's master controller, noting its similarity to a real train's Mascon and how it's comfortable to use. He talks about how real drivers internalize details like gradients and braking points, emphasizing the pressure of carrying passengers, which is a significant difference from the game. He admits that playing the game brings out old driving habits, and that he even speaks commands like departure, proceed, while playing. The page shows his driving evaluation results, detailing penalties like overruns. Also featured is a contest for the fastest time on the snowy Yamanote line scenario in Densha de Go X, with prizes awarded to the top finishers. The page also introduces a video series designed to provide a relaxing train driving experience using real footage. The visuals include photos of Matsumoto playing, close-ups of the controller, his result screen, and images related to the contest prizes and video series. This page is packed with fighting game action and community events. It kicks off with a report on the 03 Super Battle Tournament regional qualifiers, which is of course Street Fighter Alpha 3. Held just before the Tokyo Game Show finals, the Kanto region qualifiers took place on September 27th at Sunshine City in Ikebukuro, drawing 354 skilled competitors. The event featured high-level matches, and the winner, who used Akuma, secured their spot in the finals. There's also a Jamma Show Novelty Challenge, offering a chance to win one of 8 types of Kikayo t-shirts. These feature characters from the game, likely referring to cyberbots or tech romancer. The list of potential t-shirts includes characters like Bowles, Bora, DeViolet, Gawain, and the massive Geg Kaiser. The page provides an intermediate update on the character contest, showing the current rankings. Sakura is holding on to the top spot, while his Yanko has climbed to second place. Other characters like Ryu, Mega Man, Chun-Li, and Cammy are also in the mix. The voting method is explained, highlighting how illustrations add bonus points. The contest is heating up as the deadline approaches. Several fan illustrations are featured, showcasing popular characters like Hisenko and Sakura, alongside a cool mini illustration of Jin Saotome. The passion from the fans is clearly evident. This page spotlights Tech Romancer, known as Kikayo in Japan, Capcom's unique 3D giant robot fighting game. Running on arcade hardware similar to the PlayStation, this title distinguishes itself from standard fighting games, with its emphasis on character-driven narratives and a heavy anime influence. You'll see various impressive mechs and characters featured throughout. The content highlights 2 key modes. The story mode is structured like a TV anime series, featuring stages divided into episodes and offering original scenarios for each pilot. The narrative branch is based on your progress, making it crucial to follow the story, to understand the events, and enjoy the multiple paths available. There's also the Hero Challenge mode, designed to test your skills against all 12 robot combatants. This mode ranks players based on their performance in battle, challenging you to earn the title of the strongest hero. The page emphasizes that Techromancer offers a different flavor compared to typical fighting games, encouraging players to delve into the rich, character-specific stories. This page dives deeper into the core gameplay mechanics of Techromancer. It stresses the importance of mastering robot operation and warns against treating it like a traditional 2D fighting game. Thinking like Street Fighter II will lead to trouble. The fundamental attacks utilize the A and B buttons. The A button is for basic, fast attacks, which change depending on the character and range, becoming punches up close or projectiles from afar. The B button is primarily used for long-range projectile attacks, each with unique properties, though these often have larger animations and are less suitable for close combat. An important close-range tactic is the AAA combination attack. The page emphasizes that players must master their character's special moves and understand the opponents as well, noting their varied effects, follow-up potential after hitting, and recovery time after being guarded. The powerful super special moves are highlighted as game changers, best used strategically despite their appeal. Overall, the guiding philosophy presented is not to get bogged down in intricate details, but to attack aggressively. The screenshots showcase the dynamic 3D robot combat in various environments, featuring characters like Tech Romancer himself. This page serves as a detailed breakdown of the game systems in Tech Romancer. It starts by explaining the heads-up display elements, the damage gauge, which fills as you take damage but gradually recovers, the armor gauge, representing your robot's durability before breaking, and the special gauge, which is required to execute powerful special moves. The guide then covers items, specifically special weapons, which appear when you destroy environmental objects. These are meant to be used immediately rather than saved, suggesting players should grab them and use them strategically to gain an advantage. Several advanced attack techniques are highlighted. The avoid attack allows players to dodge incoming attacks while moving sideways. The power breaker is a move designed to break through an opponent's guard. The steel attack is described as a powerful body slam type move. The grapple attack triggers a button-mashing minigame when two characters collide with attack hitboxes simultaneously, with the winner inflicting damage. Finally, the final attack is a dramatic finishing move available when the opponent's health is low, independent of the special gauge. Although powerful, it's noted as slow and best used in conjunction with other moves, like immediately after landing a steel attack. The screenshots illustrate these various actions and UI elements during combat. This page dives into Sunnyside/SNK, Meltyran's growth diary for the Neo Geo Pockets. It's a racing simulation where you guide a mysterious girl named Meltyran, who arrived from space, through 12 years of her life, from elementary school to high school. You act as her guardian, making choices that influence her development.
The game features interactions like teaching her, managing her daily life, and exploring the town. Screenshots show various moments, including dialogue, studying math, and navigating the town map, highlighting the charming pixel art and character designs as she grows. The page also briefly mentions other upcoming Neo Geo Pocket titles like King of Fighters AR1. Additionally, there's a section called Hyper Freaks, featuring fan art submissions, showcasing characters from King of Fighters like Yashiro and Shermie, and a call for readers to submit illustrations related to SNK games, including Samurai Showdown and Neo Geo Pocket titles, for a popularity poll. This page of the Sega AM2 Express Corner focuses on the secrets and features of Virtua Striker 2v98. It reveals hidden elements and gameplay options available in this updated version. Highlighting the return of surprise characters, the page details how to unlock and encounter the Snow Messenger, MVP Yuki-chan, by selecting specific teams based on the letters Y-U-K-I at the Team Select screen. Doing so transforms the stadium into a unique snowy environment. It also explains the chaotic appearance of Bean, the duck-like character from AM2's Dynamite Ducks and Fighting Vipers. During matches, Bean shows up under specific conditions, like low remaining time, or after certain game events like fouls, though not in standard CPU versus matches. Furthermore, the page covers additional ways to customize your game experience. Players can access the classic arranged soundtrack from the original Virtua Striker, and select away kits by inputting simple commands at the start or Team Select screens. For those wanting to test their skills, there's a ranking mode that evaluates your performance after matches, grading you from a 2E with potential alpha modifiers. This version of Virtua Striker 2 also saw the release of an official guide. This page features the Dynamite column from Sega's AM1 research and development team. The focus is on the arcade game, The Ocean Hunter, the 7-Sea Adventure. Described as a graphical and baroque experience, the game invites players to explore 7 fantastical seas filled with monsters. It's highlighted as a popular gun-shooting title running on the Model 3 hardware. The gameplay is noted as being distinct from typical gun shooters. Players can switch between single and rapid-fire modes, and reloading is handled automatically or by releasing the trigger, eliminating the need for manual reloading and offering a feeling of exhilaration. The game also lacks power-ups. Enemies primarily attack directly, and taking damage reduces your life. The protagonists are introduced as Toreru and Cruz, 2 bounty hunters tasked with battling the sea monsters. Screenshots on the page showcase dramatic underwater encounters with creatures like sharks, a hydra, and a boss known as Charybdis, illustrating the game's unique visual style and intense action. The reviewer seems impressed by the game's high level of completion and encourages players to seek it out if they see it in arcades. The next page continues the deep dive into the arcade hit,
The Ocean Hunter. The Seven Sea Adventure. It starts by detailing Stage 1, the Baroque Sea, which features beautiful coral reefs and a sunken ship. The objective here is to save divers from a swarm of sharks. The page highlights a rescue scene involving a mid-boss, White Death, a large shark, where saving the diver recovers your life. The latter part of the stage takes place in a sunken ship, filled with treasures that grant bonuses when shot. The enemies in Stage 1 include 3 types: sharks, barracudas, and sea serpents. The Stage 1 boss is the Kraken, depicted as a giant octopus that pulls the player into the sunken ship. Advice is given to shoot its tentacles first, then focus fire on the main body once it's vulnerable. The page then gives a preview of the remaining 6 stages, each with a unique theme, from ancient ruins and a grotesque deep-sea area to a freshwater lake, the Arctic Sea, the Western Ocean with ancient creatures, and the mysterious Pantalassa. The highlights of the game are described as its unique worldview, blending reality and fantasy to enhance the mystery of the sea. The reviewer highly recommends playing the DX cabinet version for the full experience. Screenshots showcase encounters with the Kraken, a barracuda, a sea serpent, and a massive shark, possibly the Stage 2 boss, Leviathan. This page reports on the results of the Cybertroopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram National Tournament, following the Summer Special Combat Order Operation Denjigo event. The tournament saw intense competition, starting from 500 stores nationwide, progressing through 36 regional areas, and culminating in the national finals with 65 participants. The matches followed a standard best-of-2 format with 80-second rounds. A fascinating breakdown of the Virtuoids used by participants is presented in a pie chart. Temjin proved to be the most popular choice, making up roughly a fifth of the field, closely followed by Dordre and Balsaries. On the other end of the spectrum, Virtuoi Amproids like Raiden, APHARMDS, and Greifswald saw very limited use. The sheer variety and the strong representation of certain Virtuoi Amproids is a key takeaway. The page also features the full tournament bracket, detailing the path competitors took to the finals, providing a visual record of the event's structure. A photograph shows the winner being awarded. Finally, a small note offers corrections regarding previously published information about Virtuoid movement speeds and stage features. The report details the Cybertroopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram National Tournament's latter stages. Early rounds saw upsets as favorites like Dordre and Balsaries were eliminated by unexpected rivals. The best 8 featured diverse Virtuoid choices, including Raiden and APHARMDS, alongside strong Temjin players. The semi-finals showcased high-level play. Jester, piloting Angelin, defeated Dream Tenjin. EKD's Temjin advanced over Skrull's Cypher 21. In the third-place match, Skrull's Cypher won decisively against Spichin FF. The report includes a photo of the top 4 players, with a spotlight on young quarterfinalist Sugihara. A win streak correction mechanic is analyzed, where a player's damage taken increases with a winning streak, aiming to balance competition. A table illustrates the escalating damage multipliers. This page delves into the thrilling climax of the Cybertroopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram National Tournament. The highly anticipated final match saw EKD piloting Temjin face off against Jester Kansai's Angelin. Despite Angelin taking an early lead in the first round, EKD's calculated approach and effective use of sliding attacks turned the tide, securing the first round. EKD continued this dominance in the second round, winning the match 20 and claiming the national championship title. The commentary highlighted how crucial machine-specific strategies and adapting to the stage environment were throughout the tournament. The page lists the top finishers: EKD, Temjin, as the winner, Jester Kansai, Angelan, as the runner-up, and SKL Nagano, Cypher, taking third place. EKD shared his joy, mentioning past defeats fueled his victory. Furthermore, the page offers a breakdown of the Virtuoids used by top players, showing a wide variety of machines like Temjin, Cypher, Dordre, APHARMD variants, Raiden, Feyen, Spichin FF, Grisbach, Angelin, and Balbasbo. It provides brief insights into the favored tactics and playstyles employed by skilled competitors for each specific Virtuoid type, reinforcing the idea that mastering your machine's strengths and weaknesses was key to success. The Cybertroopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram National Tournament was a huge success, far exceeding the final matches. Hundreds of fans lined up early to enter the event. Eager for limited merchandise and freebies, attendees enjoyed free play areas, cosplays, and post-tournament festivities, like a mini-live performance by Tomoko Hanaguchi, and an appearance by Hajime Katoki. A rock-paper-scissors tournament added to the excitement, with fans eagerly seeking signed items. Limited edition items were highly sought after, despite scheduling challenges during the 2.5-month tournament due to events like typhoons. The competition ran smoothly. SEGA thanked fans, celebrated the intense battles, and highlighted the skill of Temjin pilots.
The event promised continued enjoyment of Virtual On.
EKD's Lay Group win was a celebratory footnote after his national championship victory. This page is promoting the official guidebook for Cybertroopers Virtual On. Oratorio Tangram. Following the excitement of the national tournament discussed on the previous page, this guide offers players the chance to master the game. It's packed with essential information for players of all levels, from newcomers to experienced veterans. The guide covers fundamental strategies, provides introductions to all 11 playable Virtualoids, explains control methods and attack techniques, and breaks down the entire game system and every action. It even features an interview with the game's producer, Chuichiro Ida, and character designer, Hajime Katoki. The guide is currently on sale for 1,500 JPY, is a 5 size, and contains a substantial 224 pages, published by SoftBank. It's the definitive resource for anyone looking to dominate in the Virtual On arena. This page features the weekly horoscope segment known as Hakozaki no Haha's fortune telling. It covers the period from October 9th to October 15th. Prominently displayed is this week's lucky person, illustrated by an anime-style character who is described as being born on October 15th. Her forecast touches on recovery and health, dramatic changes in love life, important developments through friends, and a week filled with excitement. The main body of the page is dedicated to horoscopes for all 12 zodiac signs, from Aries through Pisces. For each sign, predictions are provided separately for males and females, accompanied by charming, simple illustrations representing each sign's animal or symbol with male and female figures. The predictions cover various aspects of life, including luck, relationships, work, and health, offering advice tailored to the specific week. At the bottom, a small key explains a rating system using colored squares, shown here in grayscale. A filled square indicates excellent condition. A partially filled square means normal, and an empty square signifies not so good. This provides a quick visual summary of the general luck level for each sign. This section is a typical feature found in many Japanese magazines of the era, offering readers a bit of personal insight alongside the main content. This page features the pinnacle of secret techniques, a reader submission corner dedicated to uncovering hidden tricks in SEGA Saturn games. Submissions are ranked, with higher ranks earning prizes like Saturn software or book vouchers. The page highlights secrets for 3 different games. First up is the shooter Steam Hearts, where players can input a specific command sequence to achieve invincibility, a classic secret technique often found in the genre. Next we look at Capcom Generations Volume 2, featuring the arcade classic Super Ghouls on Ghosts. Here, a stage select trick is revealed, allowing players to jump directly to different levels, a useful secret that many dedicated players sought out back in the arcade days. Finally, the corner revisits popular past games, featuring Tomb Raiders. Several secrets for Lara Croft's adventure are shared, including a method to force a stage clear using a command on the title exit screen, a trick to gain infinite ammo for all weapons after clearing the final stage and saving, and the input for performing a diving roll, though it comes with a humorous warning about the potential dangers of falling from heights. The section also invites readers to submit their own discovered secret techniques for future features. The SEGA Saturn Weekly Soft Review provides previews of upcoming games based on early versions. This week's reviews cover Capcom Generations Volume 3 and a SEGA Ages release featuring Disney titles. Capcom Generations Volume 3, collecting classic arcade games like Sanson, targets nostalgia, with authentic graphics but high difficulty. Reviewers enjoyed the challenging gameplay and bonus content, giving it an average score of 6.0.
The SEGA Ages release includes Castle of Illusion and Quackshot.
The game's charming visuals and challenging gameplay, reminiscent of the Mega Drive originals, earned praise. Reviewers, some experiencing the games for the first time, appreciated the detailed graphics and adventure elements, resulting in an average score of 7.0. The reviews offer varied perspectives on both games' appeal and difficulty. This page is dedicated to the SEGA Saturn Magazine Readers Present campaign, offering various prizes to lucky readers. Headlining the giveaways is a selection of SEGA Saturn-compatible software for 20 winners, giving them a chance to grab a new title. Other prizes include a poster for the popular fighting sequel Bloody Roar 2, some cool UBI stickers featuring the D-Jump logo, a special Capcom secret file likely containing art and information, and the Simulation RPG Maker software, perfect for aspiring game designers to craft their own adventures, as shown by the character creation screenshot. The page outlines the rules for entry, requiring readers to answer a questionnaire and submit their details by October 23rd. It also lists the winners from the previous giveaway in the October 2nd issue, featuring numerous names spread across different regions. The information section at the top teases upcoming content, highlighting coverage of major events like the Tokyo Game Show and Dreamcast information, plus a feature on friends and special illustrations, promising another packed issue for SEGA enthusiasts. This page is an advertisement for the SEGA Saturn game Shizen Season, a love adventure, also known as a dating simulation or visual novel. The artwork features 4 attractive anime-style female characters, depicted in casual clothing or perhaps nightwear, along with a large, green penguin plush toy. The game is scheduled for release on November 19, 1998, with an estimated price of 6,800 yen before tax. The ad highlights seasonal themes, suggesting the story will explore emotions like encounters, partings, temptation, conflict, loneliness, and sadness throughout the year. It also mentions a pre-order campaign offering a special aluminum business card case as a bonus. The game is published by Kid and is rated 18+. It promises a character-driven narrative experience focusing on relationships. This page is an advertisement for the acclaimed SEGA Saturn RPG Grandia. It announces a special memorial package re-release, highlighting that the price and packaging have been updated. This new version is set to release on November 26, 1998, at a special award commemorative price of 4,200 yen before tax, significantly lower than the original release. The page features a vibrant illustration depicting the main characters, Justin, Fina, and Sue, poised for adventure over a map, symbolizing the game's core theme of exploration. It proudly displays badges indicating the game won an excellent award and Semi-Grand Prix award, acknowledging its critical success. Small screenshots are included, showcasing various aspects of the game's world, including exploration, character interactions, and tactical battles, giving a glimpse into the adventure that awaits. The text reinforces the game's narrative as a story of love and adventure, inviting players to embark on an exciting journey with Justin and his companions into undiscovered lands and ancient ruins. Additionally, the ad mentions the Grandia Digital Museum is already available, suggesting a related bonus or supplementary release for fans. The page serves as a clear call to action for those who might have missed the original release, or wish to purchase the game at a more accessible price.